Let's see here. Which thing? Oh wait, I can just do that. Yeah. That's way easier. Okay. And then I just have to pull up my YouTube chat and I'll be good to go. Okay. Alrighty. Perfect. Put that in there. Okay. Jesus. Alright, I know I got some stuff from last time. So God, I hate the color of my chat. I'm gonna have to fix that. Tune is helping me with that. It's gotta be more legible over the background. Anyway, got my Discord and see what I have saved up. Here is my React links. Here we are. Okay. Got go up. Oh. Okay, so scroll up and we got to all of those. All that. And that. Too. Trying to get to where we didn't, the things that I didn't see. I think I saved Beats stuff that he submitted because he wasn't here for it. Ah, shit. Beats only sent it to me directly. This is why we put it in the Discord. So I can tell what order it's in. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No. Maybe he did. Let's see. Okay, yeah, he did. I misspoke. Next Friday, I'm gonna drop a bunch of links here. Canadian parody music artist from Montreal. His songs are great, funny, and packed with bars. I think he told me he wanted me to play the Joiner one first. I'm gonna give a few minutes before I start, just to make sure that the people who did put stuff in here have a chance to get here. So I'll probably wait like 5-ish more minutes. Okay. Well, Beats is here. I give just a couple minutes, Beats, and then we'll play the. You said Joiner first, I think. Oh, hey, I see you in YouTube chat. Okay, cool. Today is a weird day. I woke up and people in Chud Spicy chat were being nice to me, which is weird. Okay. Into my Discord. That's funny. That's not my Discord. I always click my friend's Discord instead of mine. Like 100% of the time. I'll get this joiner one queued up though. Yep. June 6, 2007. That would have been 16 years ago. That would have been 18. Interesting. I also didn't live too far from Detroit then. I'm surprised too. This is a long one. Oh, it's a really old one. Yeah, that's what it says. It's a true story that happened in Detroit. Yeah, you know what? People can get here when they get here. I'm gonna start it. And I know it's kind of loud here. Oh wait, I tested this out every single time, the last week that I've tried to stream my wait a minute. Okay. I myself have no sound. What is going on? There we go. Every time I try to stream, like my stream seems to have no audio. Like it resets in between, and I don't know why that's happening. I can't do nothing about the yelling in the background. Wait, now I have no sound again. Oh, I do. Okay, there must not be any sound on the video yet. Oh, there should be. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. To mute my stream, I muted the tab. I'm dumb. I'm just dumb. God damn it. Oh, still muted. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Okay, we're good. We're good. Paste. Oh yeah, let me pick this screen up and there we go.
Woke up up at 7, my day seemed more than I prayed for. Got dressed to head out and ride to school on my skateboard. New kid in class, I sat alone taking notes while the hoodlums were making jokes at the clothes that my mama paid for. Seemed like everyone was a part of some gang invasion. Tattoos and initiation, parole and some on probation. Soaking up the vibe as I study for information, cause lately I've been deprived of a normal day. But today on my way to eat lunch, some kid approached me. He told me we should be cool if only he got to know me. Cause on the side of town I would need some protection. It's crazy, reckless, and dangerous unless I'm some sort of gangster. I'm only safe with the police. He said his name was, I dapped him up at the buses. Was kinda skeptic about him at first cause I didn't trust him. And the more I got to know him, I couldn't tell what his motives were, hoping that he was sincere. Something told me let go, but the only thing on my mind was patience. Searching twice for a different life, I was tired of waiting. Plus me and had similar views and conversations infused with knowledge, mainly about school and college. That was my truth, but regardless, he was type cool when I was with him. Introduced him to my family, they were rocking with him. My mama told him, make sure you look out for my son. And before she could finish her sentence, he quickly just interjected and said, don't you even stress that I got it under control. It's been 2 months since we met, it seems like we've gotten close. Some cat approached me and tried to beef with me, I just froze. And I see pounding and stomping homie right out his clothes. Called me his brother and told me he got me to the fullest. Even if that means bullets, bullies, gangs, AKs, and choppers to their killers. That's the realest shit I ever witnessed. A few weeks later, my uncle sold me a Honda Civic, a 93 with no license plates and no registration. Just thinking about every place I'ma go when I finally get it. And then he asked me for a ride around the block, some distance from where I was parking. Instantly, I knew that spot was sketchy. My mama would kill me. My intuition told me not to. I knew it was wild, and plus I knew it had no business or place on that side of town.
Wait, if I don't pause it every once in a while, my YouTube stream's gonna get pulled down. Like, that's the thing that saves it. That's why sometimes when you see people pausing them, who are doing, music, reacts on YouTube, they do that just specifically so that they don't get, copyrighted. Yeah, you gotta pause them every once in a while.
And I read about some chick who went lurking without a sound and got murked and her body found in the dirt with 1,000 rounds. It was worse than abandoned buildings, abandoned villas, and scammers and killers provoking gangsters. But maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I might be straight just as long as I pump the brakes and try not to think about it. Just trust I'll be fucking safe. And then I told him, let's go. Hop in. He dabbed me up and started telling jokes the whole ride there. Had me cracking up as we were getting closer. I felt funny. My stomach turned. And then he told me, go left, make another turn, go right, and drive slow. As I looked, it was all abandoned.
It's always so weird to see oh hey Elk. It's always so weird to see Detroit in things, cause like I don't have to know the street to be like, oh yeah, that's definitely Detroit. If you've been there, you know.
Quiet, not a single person in sight, nobody standing in right. When I pulled the car to the side, he said, right here, sit still, turn the car off and chill. And I started to panic, he told me, relax. Then he pulled the keys out the ignition and hopped out and laughed. Then my light flashed in an instant, he inched to my driver door and I tried to lock it, I couldn't. He ripped me right out my seat and then grabbed the side of his jeans and then put out the shotty and all I heard was a screech and he shot my arm into pieces. I'm thinking I must be dreaming and another shot to my chest and my stomach squeezing my breath and my lungs collapsed and I'm down on my fucking knees asking him why. He looked at me, I looked him dead in the eyes and he smashed my face with the barrel, knocked all my teeth to the sky and I heard a sound of the shot, he cocked back. He pressed the heart against my head and blew my fucking top back. Boom. I'm still conscious, I'm breathing. I'm still moving, no clue as to why I'm not dead. All this blood that I'm losing and I heard my car drive off. Then I looked up and seen the sun and that was all that I saw. Then I heard my conscience tell me, get up, nigga, get up. You're losing blood, oh my. Don't fall asleep or you'll die. Stay awake and move as much as possible, there's no time. Find some help and try to yell, you ain't too well, oh God. Wake up, nigga, wake up. Wake up, nigga.
Jesus fucking Christ. This is Joyner at the top of his game though. I love Joyner. Sometimes he's not that consistent. Like his ADHD album, every song's fire. But some of his older stuff I wasn't the biggest fan of, but this is on par with the music that I really, really like.
Woke up at 7, my day was worse than I prayed for. Got dressed to head out and down the stairs from the 8th floor. New kid in class, he sat alone taking notes while my niggas were making jokes at the clothes that his mama paid for. Had no family, but was cool with the local gangsters, tattoos, and some on parole and probation for breaking rules.
Is this his life flashing before his eyes? And it is an amazing song. Just wait till the second.
Life was all I knew. All I wanted to do was cruise, smoke weed, and say fuck school. Wanted guidance, cause all my role models I would look up to was indicted, the young dudes with no logic. I went to church to the pastor, said fuck you, now violent. And this gang that always looked out for me, vouched for me, and adopted me, said they wanted to rock with me, and I wanted to get down. Guess there was something missing, everything comes with a price. But there's only one condition, all you gotta do for initiation is kill an innocent victim and leave them there with no witnesses or no snitches. If you do that, you be down with the clique. And that's for life, so don't you ever think you're getting out of this shit. I thought about it, soaking up the vibe as I study for information, trying to choose my victim, plotting the weakest prey. But today on my way to eat lunch, I approached him and told him we should be cool if only I got to know him. Cause on his side of town, he would need some protection. It's crazy, reckless, and phony, unless he's some sort of gangster. He only saved with the police. He said his name was I dapped him up at the buses. Was kinda skeptical about me at first cause he didn't trust me. Then the more he got to know me, he couldn't tell what my motives were, hoping that I was sincere. But little did he know I was trying to snake him and pop and break him. Just need the perfect opportunity, I'm tired of waiting. Had murder running through my head, I knew the death was coming. He introduced me to his family, I was jealous of him. His mama told him, make sure you look out for my son. And before she could finish her sentence, I quickly just interjected and said, don't you even stress it. I got him to the fullest, even if that means bullets, bullies, gangs, AKs, and choppers till they kill us. I was lying.
Fucked up. It reminds me of shit, that Immortal Technique song. I mean, it's not obviously not the same. It's a Dance with the Devil.
To the fucking
Similar
limit.
vibes.
Took advantage when he said he had that Honda Civic, a 93 with no license plates and no registration. Just thinking about every place I'ma go when I finally kill him. And then I asked him for a ride around the block, some distance from where he was parking. Instantly I knew my chance was coming, I'm ready to drill him. Then he told me, let's go, hop in. I dapped him up and started telling jokes, the whole ride did. Had him cracking up as we were getting closer. He felt funny, I think he knew something was coming. That look he had was enough to tell me, but fuck it, go right and drive slow as he looked. It was all abandoned and quiet, not a single person in sight, and nobody standing. And right when he pulled the car to the side, I said, right here, sit still. Turn the car off and chill. Then he started to panic, I told him, relax. Then I pulled the keys out the ignition and hopped out and laughed. Seen his light flash in an instant, I inched to his driver door. Then he tried to lock it, he couldn't. I ripped him right out of the seat and then grabbed the side of my jeans and then put out the shotty. I cocked it twice till he screamed and then shot his arm into pieces. I'm watching his blood leaking and another shot to his chest. Seen his stomach squeezing his breath and his lungs collapsing. He down on his fucking knees asking me why. He looked at me, I looked him dead in the eyes and I smashed his face with the barrel, knocked all his teeth to the sky. And then sound of the shot, he cocked back. I pressed the hard against his head and blew his fucking top back. Fucking car. Fuck. Fuck. Hey, get the fuck out my way, you faggot. Fuck. Oh, shit. Fuck, come on. Come on, pick up, come on. Yo, I did it. I killed him. Yo, I had that nigga screaming. I just fucking blood everywhere.
Don't talk too much over the phone. Meet me at the spot.
Alright.
One.
Banger song, but fuck. Oh, we got you. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So I guess the guy lived. I assume they got his killer. Oh shit. They never disclosed his name. They just said it was one of his closest friends. Wild. He was pronounced dead when he arrived at the hospital. And they got him back. Good God. Imagine having somebody blow your fucking arm off, shoot you in the stomach and the fucking head, and you don't say nothing to the public at all about who it was. That's insane. Although, I guess living near the area, I could probably ask around. People probably know. Love how it was like, I'm racist and written from two different perspectives. Joyner's really good at that kind of thing. Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I'm a Joyner, big Joyner fan, but, like, there's not a lot of people around me who are also Joyner fans. A buddy of mine just sent me one of his videos. It was a remix of his. And so I just looked into him myself and became a really big fan. So, like, I don't get to talk to a lot of people about Joyner locally. Yeah, that was pretty heavy. Good God. That was something new. Yeah, that's something interesting. Not used to getting new stuff from Joyner out of nowhere like that. Oh yeah, I guess if you're on YouTube, you don't get the link. I only put it in Twitch. Blast it again, and then if you're on YouTube and you want anything, by all means, there's a link. I don't, I think I've seen all the John LeJoies that you sent me. I don't, only do music. It just seems to be the case that people send me a lot of music. If you want to send me anything, you can join the Discord and then put it in the React links. I gotta mark that one as viewed. But I'll still play it. Where's the? I think I'm missing something from the order here. No, maybe not. How to follow that? Dang. That's fair. Joiner's a tough act to follow. Well, luckily, Beats, the same one who submitted that, also submitted this next in line. It's a classic. I have seen it, but it's in the Discord, so I'm gonna play it. So it's not like you're gonna see me react to it like brand new, but John LeJoies was like a legend growing up. I even seen his like live performances on Comedy Central, did special and stuff. So maybe making it a little bit more lighthearted can help bridge between the Joyner song and the next thing that gets played. I have seen all three parts. Yeah. Give me YouTube bot set up.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. Nothing special about me, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. When I go to the clubs, I wait in line, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. I got $600 in the bank, motherfucker. I'm just a regular,
This is so old it was uploaded in 240p at that was the max. I actually don't think I've seen Fuck Everything.
everyday, normal guy. And my sexual performances are average. I work in customer service for a phone company. I make $12 an hour, but that's all I need. I live in a small apartment on a quiet street. I don't go out too much. I like to watch TV. I can't afford a car. I use public transportation. I don't mind. I read till I reach my destination. Sometimes a newspaper, sometimes a book. The amount of money I save, the shit is off the hook.
If he looks familiar and you don't know this, he does he's Taco from The League. Also, his birthday song was the thing. That's how I would say happy birthday to everybody on Facebook. I would just post a video of his live performance of his birthday song, which he also did a softer version for The League.
And I'm not very good with the women. I'm a pretty shy person and I'm average looking. Last time I had sex was in 2003, and I'm ashamed to admit, but it wasn't free. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. I get nervous in social situations, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. I get constipated once a month, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. And I make pretty good spaghetti sauce, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. And I get scared when I go see the dentist. I'm the Pauly Shore of everyday life, easily forgettable, and I'm not very light. I have an according to Jim personality. I'm as entertaining as a fucking STD. If you wanna mess with me, I think you probably can, because I'm not confident and I'm weak for a man. I'll just roll up in a ball while you kick me in the back.
So
yeah,
good.
Honestly, I probably won't fight back, and I don't have many friends that would back me up. My friend Steve would, but he doesn't look very tough.
You want some of this, bitch?
This is so good. The first time I seen his friend Steve, I fucking lost my shit.
If you rarely get laid, put your hands up. If you're not well paid, put your hands up. If you got a pet cat, put your hands up. And if you got a bad back, put your hands up.
I hurt my back 2 summers ago moving a fridge, and ever since then it's not the same. You know, it gets pretty sore.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. My parents are really nice people, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. I'm somewhat afraid of heights, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. I like the show Grey's Anatomy, motherfucker. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. And I'm pretty good at making paper planes.
Absolutely a classic.
I could do this all day. I could do this all day. I could do this all day.
My buddy Randy showed me this probably 15 years ago. He was like my buddy who was I always describe him as the embodiment of free expression. This motherfucker was crazy. He's like super artistic and the most fearless person I had ever really met. He's a wild guy. Every once in a while I'd go to his house and he'd show me stuff on the internet, and he was like also really, really obsessed with playing WoW back then. Alright, I'm gonna put some space in between the two John LaJoies, and I'm gonna play Beats Your Token video next. Oh, also this is important. Sometimes my YouTube stream gets pulled down during these because there's a lot of copyrighted music. So if that happens, if you want to jump over to the Twitch stream just for the meantime while it's on, it usually stays down for like a couple minutes and it comes right back up. It's just twitch.tv/ElderDrazi here. I'm not saying it will happen, but it has happened. It's usually only on like specific songs that it happens, but sometimes it do happen. Oh, nice.
Yeah. When I was younger, I didn't know what to do with myself. Freestyle.
Wait, this is Token? Must be, because the other guy's Tech9, so okay.
The freestyle, proving myself. Started focusing on a mission more than spitting, but the feeling that I was missing was the want to kill everybody else. And I'm not violent, I just need to be protected now. My boy just got himself a little pistol, he might shoot it at you. Who am I after? Anyone I got a stick, I put in my poo-poo platter. Use the chatter, but I get way too much pussy to be a YouTube rapper.
Shoot you actors, not with the way Hoot Loop captures with a G crew master. Doo-doo, blast your block with the K cuckoo clappers from a shoot whoop chapter. Tell me how you wanna do it, should I nuke you bastards? Or Or should I go and get him with a count? Too slasher, do you faster?
Would you rather go against I control the web like a computer hacker? I've been abusing rappers since animal crackers and shoots and ladders. Put him in a comatose and I'm going ghost. Feel like I'm cool with Casper. Torture everybody, put him in a group on camera like it's a Uvu gather.
But I gotta choose me to try to hoot too mad. There's guess I'm the truth and a boost to Zeus who's gasser. But
Yeah. You can be in VC if you want. Let's see, stream only. Let's see. But when I listen to anybody who's on with Tech9, good God, I usually have to just like I look a lot more dead. I know I do, because I just have to like focus, because there's so many little bits and things that are super easy to miss. And not a lot of people who. So sometimes when people get on a song with Tech9, they don't bring it like they need to, and that always bums me out. This guy's acting like he's on a song with Tech9. He is delivering the appropriate amount of respect for somebody who is doing a song with Tech9. You can literally send me anything. I assumed that it would be more like Twitch poll clips or something like that, but like you could literally, like, it could be music, it can be literally anything you want to send me. It can be something that I have to read. I don't care. So the whole purpose of this is to kind of get me more informed with the people that watch me, what like they like, just sort of to kind of give me a sense of like what people that watch me are into, and just sort of build a little bit more of like a community feeling in my streams. Token usually stand up to expectations. If you want to submit something, Jabbuck, you'll have to forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. You can join the Discord, and you can put it in the React links. It helps me keep track of in order, and it helps me keep track of what has already been played and not. And also, in between weeks, you can throw stuff in there, so that way when I start up, I have something to go with right away. I don't have to like wait for anybody, like particular person, to be here. I try, to an extent, I will try to make sure that the person's there if it's like in between streams, but I can only do so much. Accommodating. Beats, I gave you permissions in the Discord. If you go to stream only, you should be able to see it. I gave you the role of stream guest, so you should be able to pop in if you want.
Buku flashers on social media say I do truth backwards. Fuck your boots loose with a Duke shoot smasher. I'm solid.
I'm just a mindless, please tell the pilot I'm way too cold.
Oh my. My guy.
Is that me? That's me. Hold on.
Okay. Say, it sounds like you got a fan pointed directly into your mic. I thought it was the song at first. I was like, holy shit.
Degrees, it's like I'm switching college, but ain't no need for school if guns can teach you trigonomics. Curb stomp, the only way I'm kicking knowledge. I don't preach, ladies say I love you when you're sort of popping. You take the.
Oh, just to be clear, when I say it can be anything, it has to be like Twitch TOS and YouTube TOS. Don't send me a video of somebody getting their fucking head cut off, or like porn links. Like if you keep within reason, I'm sure it's fine. Just keep it TOS friendly. If it's not Twitch TOS, you can tell me that, and then I can maybe cultivate a stream where it's just on YouTube. But it's not gonna be YouTube TOS. You can just DM me a video if you want me to see it.
Put the word and then they take you for your wallet. How many syllables can you fit within a second with no content? Use your own logic, no comment. No more violence. I just kill them to enjoy the silence. I got my hand on the button still, but
Sorry about that. I thought I turned the fan off and I turned it on high.
Oh, gotcha. You still have a lot of background sound, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe it's just your mic. Like it's hard to even hear you. It's so loud. I'm not even like I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Like I don't know what it is though. I'm bad at this. I'm bad at that thing. No worries. This was on TV. Like this music video was on TV. Maybe try unplugging your mic and plugging it back in. I'm assuming you don't hear like the sound isn't okay. Isn't local. It's just in the mic.
I don't know why I'm running, but I'm running still. No more violence. I just kill them to enjoy.
Oh, Jebbuck, YouTube, my YouTube chat literally doesn't let you put links in there. I think maybe you can share it on Twitch. You don't use Discord, you're a boomer. If Twitch doesn't let you, I'm not sure. You can try DMing me on Twitter. But Discord's not that hard to use either. I would suggest that, but like if you just can't or strictly won't, try sending it to me, said on Twitch or on Twitter. That would be the best bet. So I can't make YouTube let it have links. I don't let me see. Maybe. Oh, yeah. I don't even have block links selected. Yeah, I'm not even blocking links. It just automatically does certain links, I guess. That's really weird. So I guess there just is nothing I can do about it. Yeah, there is a browser version. Yes, there is. You can just go to discord.com from your browser, and that's fine. If you click the link to my Discord, it'll open up in your browser, and you can sign up through there. Because I would love to see what you got for me.
I got my hand on the button still. Don't know why I'm running, but I'm running still. Jesus, Lord, relieve me more of stress. I need some more revenge. Distort your neck and force a stretch like prehistoric Rex. And don't ask me to be your guest. Feature more or less your new song before play. Like a tease before the sex. You need some more success. I'm still a teen, of course. I need endorsement checks. Tech. What up? I heard you made the Forbes. I need you for some bread. And I don't treat my girls like queens. I treat them more like kings in chess. I keep the horse in check. I feel like Jesus when you leave me bored to death.
Hey, I don't know why anybody want to come and get it from Dante. That thinking is dubious, I am Vesuvius, front like your Pompeii. Calling me coward, I'm coming this crazy calamitous Kanye. Got a gargantuan gun, I'ma get the grown-up groping grande. Blah, blah, chicken agua after rap beef. But they pause, I'm the Faja, ba, black sheep. Nigga, that's weak, fucking raw in the car back seats where they take the raw rap sheets. Ha, cats keep crack peeps, pipe pips, and I'm glad it's night. Grammatic geist gets status wiped, coming against me is bad advice. You don't want to lay up in the poison predicament, gonna wait just in the sort of maleficent dorm. Say this, I'm the opposite. People say I'm a Deus. I've been on my Rambo, killing them off of my camo, and I be coming equipped with the ammo. Pulling them out of the bando, never your rhyming, no can handle. No more violence from your Sambo, and a big silence of the Lambo.
I read silence from the panel whenever my mic is handled. Ain't no match, you can't light the candle. One of a kind, I'm the prime example. Talking about me, be slightly careful. Coming in my city is quite the gamble. Better hope that your flight is canceled. Make you scream cause I like the sample. Wait, dismantle, put your head on this mantle. I CPS in your channel, get outshot by my shadow. I don't battle, I do not pretend, don't even rap like this. If I'm not with tech, I got your back, a back architect. The way I built this shit from the YouTube kid, I'm done. Look. No more violence. I just kill them to enjoy the silence. I got my hand on the button still. Don't know why I'm running, but I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at all that hate I generate. I don't feel up. Plus from featherweights, maybe try when you and better say, oh, you fuck that cup up every day. Oh, you drink that cup up every day. Got me thinking, hold up. Anyways, what the fuck you got to celebrate? How many losses do you tend to take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12 a day. That's so sad, but shit, what can I say? Cry me river like the Everglades. I might swim that bitch and get away. I got the whole world to penetrate. No more YouTube prop. Goodbye.
God, yeah, that's pretty good. He had a lot of speed and flow. Like I said, he really brought it for Tech 9. whenever anybody comes on, like, who is it? I think Logic did the song with Joyner in Tech 9, and he was like, not good. How can you send me a message? Let me see if you joined. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, it says, it has like rules, announcements, moderator only, stream ideas, general chat. And if you scroll down, there's like a header that says Elder Content, React links. You put it right there. You click React links, and then it'll bring you to like another screen. And you just put your link right into the message bar at the bottom. See, I knew you had it in you. And if that's not clear, if you're having trouble with that, I can break it down a little bit better, I'm sure. And it was helping people with IT stuff. It was my job for a very, very long time. You nailed it. I never thought that you didn't have it. Perfect. All right. We're gonna play yours right now. Oh boy. Alrighty. We'll see how this goes. Man, it's trying to get me in trouble.
Harrison looks from the outside to be your average teenager. He goes to school, plays video games, even listens to music in his room. But there's one difference.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has
pretty good.
transracial identity, identifying as...
Now, I feel like it'd be a lot worse if it was a white person saying that they were black. Obviously. I do a lot of stuff with like lefty Twitch pulls, so this is fine. This is fine. It's mostly would mostly get in trouble if it was the other way around.
It's Harrison Booth, a
People are very
35-year-old white
sensitive
man
on the left.
from Colorado.
And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man?
Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white and 35. I just miss Colorado sometimes. You know, here I pretend the buildings are the old San Juan mountain range, but, you know, the job's just here.
And where do you work?
I'm a systems engineer for Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
That boy don't work. He go to school and that's it. One day he said, call me Harrison. I said, who's that? He said, me.
Do you believe that he is a white man?
I mean, he isn't. Shit, I'd love to wake up one day and say, hey, everybody, I'm Rihanna. But I ain't.
It's been pretty hard. My family just doesn't get it. You know, I try to get them to go out with me, go on walks, go to the farmer's market, chat with people, but yeah.
So why don't you think that they get it?
I don't think they get it because they don't realize that race is just a made-up thing. They grew up having labels, and me, I'm just not like that.
I see. So how do you embrace your identity?
I dress a certain way, Patagonia. I wear a thick brown leather belt. I like to envision myself after the surgery.
Hey, excuse me, what IPA do you have on tap? Hey, did you see Game of Thrones last night? Yeah.
So your surgery, that's later this year.
Right. I started working at Stonecrest Mall, so hopefully by then I have enough money to take the next step.
So you work at Coca-Cola and the mall?
Okay.
Right. Correct. I work at both.
Harrison has been planning a full racial transition with a Dr. Samuel Vergara, who guarantees Harrison can visually transition through an experimental procedure that will allow Harrison to not only be a white man, but whatever race he chooses.
The procedure's absolutely 100% possible. He's gonna look weird, though.
But before Harrison can fully realize his physical identity, he still has the day-to-day that's filled with discrimination.
Hey, Fox, I'm glad you can make it. This is really good. He said he's gonna look weird though. Oh, and shit, I can't remember what your name on Twitch or YouTube is, but Starcursed Mass. It's not gonna be too long. I'll watch whatever.
And ridicule.
It's pretty awful, you know. You're walking the streets and black people, they see you, they're nodding to you like, hey, good to see us. And it's to the point where I've just given up. I've stopped trying to convince them that I'm not us.
Gotcha.
Hey, excuse me, this is definitely the guy. He doesn't even live in the area. I've never seen him before. I think we're taking slow strides, but you have to believe things are getting better. Otherwise, you'll just die inside.
Is there anything you'd like to say to other black kids out there who may be going through the same thing?
Just be you at all costs. But also, stop dressing so crazy.
Sounds good, Froggy. Nice to see you.
Absolutely.
That was pretty good. I was hoping they were going to show him after the transition. Let's see how long this is. It's really long. Okay, it's kind of longer, which is fine. I'm just going to play one of Beats' video, because he just has songs, which are kind of short, so I'm going to play one of his, and then I'll do yours, and then I'll go back to the list. Let me mark that one as viewed. When I get a lot of them from the same person, I'm going to try to, like, weave them in between, because I want to make sure that I see everything, but I also want to make sure that people's, like, everybody's getting some stuff seen, too. So you try to balance it out. 1 year ago, after some painful public and private disagreements with fellow artists, I released a number of songs and videos attacking them brutally. This is the Joker Dead Horse. After this, we're gonna do...
Yo, I first met Hop back in 2009. I reached out when my homie Low Key found him online.
This better be fire. You calling out Tech 9 and Hopsin. You gotta bring it. That's bold. You gotta have some balls. You gotta have some balls to do a period. But then you also really gotta bring it. So I have high expectations.
He blew my mind with his rhymes. He sounded sublime. He showed me I wasn't the only one down for the grind. We kept in touch and grew closer as the time went on, till we became best friends and the bond was strong. Sitting up in the straight, talking like from 9 to dawn. Our mutual struggle to be heard, to find our bond. He was the only one who understood what it was like to struggle and strife, to make a name, juggling life, trying to become something bigger than some regular guys, like eagles with our wings pinned, trying to spread them and fly. We kept our friendship secret as a joke in the plot, that we'd reveal it in this new video that I shot. But when the video dropped and I saw you cut all my parts, it felt like I had a damn dagger stuck in my heart. But it's a dead horse. Can we all just move on? It's really been too long. I'm thinking that it's time that we all just leave it alone. I'm telling you, hey, and it's all already been said. It's gone and it's been dead. Feeling like it's time that we all just leave it alone. Now, strange music fans, listen, I have to oblige. Tech 9 is straight one of the dopest rappers alive. I won't lie, some of them crazy delivery patterns are fly. And on a personal level, he ain't that bad of a guy. I was a big fan of him right out of the gate. I first heard Tech spit in 2008. Flipping through MySpace, I came across Night and Day from Ever Ready. Played it and was like, wow, that was great. He had the rhymes, had the speed, had the harmony down. And Rob Rebeck on the mix with the barbarous sound. The stage show was straight nuts, no matter the spot. So as a rapper, you can imagine how happy I got when I got invited to meet him in Santa Barbara that day. And it drove like 800 miles at $80 a tank. And spent my whole check to show Tech a couple of songs, but got kicked off of the bus cause the game was on. But it's a dead horse now. Can we all just move on? But it's a dead horse now. I mean, it's really been...
I don't know. This is kind of tough. I'm sorry, Beats. You and I we're supposed to talk too, so I hope you do get a mic so where I can actually hear you talking. We're supposed to have a chat. The Hobson cut in his songs, or his parts in the song, like maybe he didn't bring it. I don't know. The Tech Nine thing. I don't know. I feel like there are at least some sort of explanations for these things.
Well, it's a dead horse now. Feeling like it's time that we all just leave it alone.
To be clear, I'd still feel really shitty about it if it was me.
But it's a dead horse now. Oh, it's a dead horse now. I mean, I'm telling you, it's a dead horse now. I'm feeling like it's time that we all just leave it alone. Listen, so that's the gist of what happened with Funk, Volume, and Strange. But looking back, my perspective wasn't all that pertained. I've done a lot of growing up in the past 2 years. So as a man, here's a couple things I ask you here. All I ever really wanted was the love of a friend who could relate to my struggle and thus was akin, along with the validation from professional peers to whom I looked up to justify the stress and my tears. So when I felt Hop betrayed me and cut me deep, and getting kicked off of the bus hurt enough to weep. So when my situation got bleak, I hatched me a ploy to throw a fit and lash out like a sad little boy. It wasn't Tech's fault, his manager treated me bad, but I dissed him for the buzz that I seen that he had. And in the process, I flipped off a legend of rap and made a horrible impression I could never get back. Now with my homie Hop, it was even deeper than that. The bond we shared, I should've worked to keep it intact, but instead, I let my anger overcome me and snapped and ripped the gash in between us too rugged to patch. But it wasn't just that, I trashed every one of his acts and hit Swizz with elaborate redundant attacks and used my whole platform as a big bullhorn that turned a once pure friendship ugly and black. And even though I might have felt validated inside, I wasn't gracious, I reacted out of anger and pride, and at the same time stigmatized my name and defamed the notoriety I tried to gain, and tried to blame other people for a course of events I could have stopped from even happening before it commenced. And ever since, have lost fans, lost respect, lost any chance to ever do a song with Tech, lost a best friend, pissed off loads of his fans, lost potential opportunities to grow in advance. And I was speaking on God.
I see those tweets.
Off loads of his fans, lost potential.
I can't read some of these. They have words I'm not allowed to say. The most ironic part is you call Hobson for selling out, yet you're constantly writing disses aimed at him for publicity. Just coasting off his numbers. Maybe you're the fucking sellout moron. This word I can't say sucks. Wanna be Tech 9 and the Joker. Wanna be Tech 9 and the Joker way better than this word I can't say on Twitch.
Potential opportunities to grow in advance, and I was speaking on God while digging a grave in a vast misappropriation of the gifts that he gave. I was blind with the justice and redemption I craved, but I never stopped to think about the picture displayed. I made myself look small as an infant and paved a trail of my own destruction with the bricks that I laid. So listen to Dame, Hop, Tech, Swizz, and the gang, Hopper, Benton, Chris, Calico, and Dizzy the same. I'm ashamed of all the dirt that I kicked on your names. I was hurt and lashed out and you were fit for the blame, so I apologize. Simple and plain, there's no excuse for it. I was sinful and vain. I acted out my bitter anger as a vent for the pain and ignored the same message I was sent to proclaim. And to the fans, listen, all that I ask is if you're in the same position, don't follow my path. Any punk can start swinging when the gauntlet is cast, but it takes a real man to sit back and swallow the wrath. And even if you don't deserve it, just take it and chill, cause people hurt you as a symptom of the pain that they feel, and probably from somebody hurting them the way they did you. And the cycle will continue till the hatred is through. So if you got somebody out there and you know who they are, you really cared about who left you heartbroken and scarred, it might be time to swallow that pride and punch in the call and put an end to that sick cycle once and for all. And even if it feels like it's beyond repair, fixing your half's the only thing you're called to bear. But unless you try, you'll never know, and who could be mad? One day you two could look back like, yeah, it used to be bad, but it's a dead horse now. Oh, it's a dead horse now.
Is that Hobson?
Regardless of what happens, we should always take that first step to make it right. Holding on to anger and hatred
is a little corny.
And understanding and forgiveness the only cure.
I like the message, and I like I didn't like hate the bars or anything, but I feel like calling Hobson a Tech 9 probably I don't know, maybe he could have been a little bit faster. I don't dislike it. The chorus a little catchy. It was corny. Somebody in my chat says corny. But like I don't necessarily mind that. That doesn't really bother me. I guess I would have preferred to see a little bit more like technical skills when it comes to rapping. The beat was okay. Maybe it's just a little slow for me. I feel like if you call it Tech 9, you gotta be like, you gotta have like that really fast flow. It wasn't bad. I would say this is like, I wouldn't change it if it came on. I could listen to it, but I probably wouldn't seek it out. Give me 1 minute though. I'm gonna get something to drink and use my nasal inhaler. I'll be right back. Like 15 seconds. Dogs, chill. Patio. Okay. Come on, Papa. Okay, I'm back. Oh, God. Almost knocked shit over. Okay. Yeah, a cup of water. That was pretty good, but the message... It was pretty good, but the message was so on the nose. Yeah, I feel that. That makes sense. Okay, so we have a longer video from Starkhurst, Mass, which is next, and then I'm gonna go Jabux, and then Elk's got one, and then I'll come back up and hit these ones from Beats. Oh wait, did I mark that one? I gotta mark them. I did not. Okay, cool. This is how a teen captured a serial killer. You know, my wife and girlfriend would love this shit. They're all into the true crime stuff. So I've been exposed to quite a bit.
Second time. Saying stuff.
The following confession of a serial killer and the crime scene photos documenting the horror he left in his wake have never been revealed before.
She got in the car. But then shortly thereafter, she figured out what was going on and she started fighting. She started saying, wait a minute, wait a minute. She was drunk. And what did you do? I hit her. Trying to make her shut up. She wouldn't shut up. Did you make a mess in your car of any type? Yeah, she did. What'd she do? Diarrhea.
Okay.
What did you do about it? Tried to clean it up. With what? Her jeans.
Jason Westerman was outside in his neighborhood in Gibsonton, Florida.
The fuck? Okay.
Playing
All right.
with his neighbor Greg Adams when they came across something that was sure to haunt them forever. The boys were playing parachutes, a game where they put stones into plastic bags and threw them up into the air, when they noticed something odd beyond a barricade.
Kind of fucking hillbilly ass shit is parachutes. Holy fuck. That's all.
At the bottom of a dead-end road. It looked like a dead cow. The boys were curious, so they went a little closer, and that's when they realized it wasn't an animal at all. It was a human body. Around 6 p.m. on May 13th, 1984, they ran home to tell Jason's dad what they had found. Little did they know this was just the very beginning of a twisted and unbelievable nightmare. When the police arrived,
Imagine getting murdered and the people who found your body referred to your body as a dead cow when they first seen it. You might have to... Did you sign up for like two-factor authentication on your Discord?
they interviewed the boys before Jerry Westerman led them to the body. It was a naked woman, lying face down on her stomach with her legs spread wide apart, and both of her hands bound behind her back with a white cloth and rope. There was a rope tied around her neck 3 times in a slip knot, a different material than the kind used to bind her wrists. The woman had black hair spread around her and a piece of cloth under her head. But when the officer approached to get a look at her face, which was pressed into the grass, he realized that there were maggots covering her face.
Good God.
Still, she appeared to be between 14 and 30. At another part,
Why even bother saying her age? Between 14 and 30. If you can't tell the difference between 14 and 30, you're probably going to end up in jail at some point in your life. Jesus Christ. Somebody was self-reporting.
part of the dead-end road, police found material like the piece of rope similar to the kind used to tie the woman's hands and some red cloth. It looked like she'd been attacked in this spot, and her body was then moved.
Can you describe the area that you left her at? If you don't remember the name of the road, can you describe what was around it? The road dead-ended, and it was like just grass.
That's pretty good, Jabba.
Grass, and it was a cow field.
She was killed by being stabbed and strangled, and had likely been dead for 2 or 3 days before her body was found. But police found something very interesting: red fibers on her clothing and body.
Okay, what happened when you got her out there? You know how you had sex with her? You don't. If you want to talk about it, fine. If you don't, I'd rather not. Okay, that's fine. What'd you do with her clothing? Threw it out the window. You know what she was wearing? Dress.
Newspapers reported the horrifying news that an unidentified teenage girl was found in a ditch. Because she was left without clothing and jewelry, and she didn't have scars or tattoos, there was very little to identify her. Right away, people wanted to help and began calling in with the names of missing girls, but none seemed to match the victim. Then, after both a friend and a young woman's boyfriend called the police to say that she was missing, the police ran the girl's fingerprints against.
I think if they say the dead person was between 14 and 30, I think if they're just saying she was short and had small boobs, is that what they're trying to say? Like, because they give no other description of her. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine what else they could be trying to convey to the public there. Really, like that she was between 1 and 90 years
the
old.
victims. It was determined to be 19-year-old Nin Tai Long. Nin went by Lana and was from Southern California. No one could imagine why someone would hurt her. Lana was seen by one of her neighbors 3 days before she was killed, standing on the sidewalk and crying after she'd been kicked out of her apartment by her boyfriend. According to the neighbor, she asked for $10 because she had nowhere to go. Her boyfriend admitted that they got into an argument when Lana quit her job as a dancer without telling him. After their fight, her boyfriend left the apartment and she told him, "If you're going out, I'm going also."
That guy's way fucking older than her. She's max 19 here. This is like a 40-year-old man.
She never made it back.
How did you get her into your car? Just asked her if she wanted to ride.
And what'd she say to you?
She said, yeah.
Okay. When she got in the car, what happened then?
I asked her if she wanted to have a drink. She said no.
Okay, and then what took place?
I pulled a knife.
And what'd she say, or what did you say?
She started fighting and screaming. I just tied her up.
At the beginning
In
of
the
the
car?
investigation into Lana's murder, her boyfriend and a cab driver that was seen picking her up
Oh, a really bizarre escalation. Like he's just driving around, then he sees a woman, asks if she wants to ride, like knowing he must know at that point already that he's going to do that. There's no way this is his first time.
on multiple
Right?
occasions were both looked
I don't
into.
usually watch this
but
kind
the
of
men
thing,
were later
so I'm not
cleared.
sure, but
There was frustratingly little evidence, but authorities initially thought the killing was a one-off and continued looking for Lana's killer. They would soon realize the truth was even darker than they ever could have imagined. Just 2 weeks later, the police were called to another chilling scene.
okay.
Louis Anthony Jordan was out walking
I
in
was
a
right.
wooded area near his home on the morning of May 27th, 1984, when he stumbled across a horrific sight. A nude woman was lying face up just off a dirt road. At first, he thought she might still be alive and in need of help, but as he approached, he realized that she'd been dead for a while. He quickly
They're going to block out whatever they're showing us. Not that I want to see it, but if they're going to block out whatever they're showing us. Oh, hey, Fauna. Thank you very much for the raid. I am currently reacting to how a teen captured a serial killer. So, I hope your peeps like murder. I typically am kind of critical of my wife and girlfriend for watching all this stuff, but it was in the Discord, so it's on the stream. If you want to have me watch anything on stream or listen to anything, music seems to be very popular, but I have no preferences. You can join the Discord and put it in there, into the React links section.
quickly went home and called the police. Jordan told him that he walked that same route all the time and had even done so 2 days earlier on the 25th, but the body hadn't been there then. Similar to Lana, though slightly different, the woman's hands had been tied to her waist, and the same rope was around her neck. A green t-shirt was also wrapped around her upper arms to bind her.
Sorry, I'll back up. I'm like leaning into I don't know, because this is all intense. But I realize then you can't even see me.
Were
My bad.
slashes across her throat and wounds to her head. She looked to be in her late teens or early 20s.
So you tried to strangle her, she wouldn't choke you out, then you stabbed her with a knife?
At first I hit her in the head with something.
What'd you hit her in the head with?
It's like a club kind of thing. More like a nightstick.
Okay, you know how many times you hit her and where you might have hit her?
I think just once in the head.
Okay, and what took place then after you hit her?
I tried to strangle her.
Did she go out again?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Well, why did you hit her with a club?
I just saw that.
I didn't
You got
want her
it,
to
Fauna.
suffer.
So you were trying to do what then?
I was trying to knock her out.
So that you would not have her suffer while you were doing what?
Killing her.
Once again, investigators noticed tire tracks in the area, which they took
The caption said killing her. He said killing it. He referred to her as an it.
plaster casts
That's
of,
interesting.
along with a single footprint near the crime scene. They also found a white jumpsuit with bloodstains hanging from a tree near the body. These details of how the bodies were staged reveals how the killer seemed to enjoy the process of not only capturing, assaulting, and murdering the women, but also finding creative ways of disposing of the bodies. During an autopsy, the medical examiner used superglue on the body in an attempt to lift any latent fingerprints and dusted the skin with graphite powder. but neither came back with anything. The woman had been hit in the head with a blunt object 5 times, causing massive blunt trauma shock and a
Jesus
severe
Christ.
hematoma to the left side of her brain. But it was the cuts to her neck and chest which killed her.
I took her out of the car.
Okay.
And I stabbed her with a knife.
And you know where you stabbed her?
The neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times did you stab her? Do you remember?
Couple. Once in the front. I think once on the side.
Okay, it was just like an inward thrust type stab.
Yeah.
The investigation began with hundreds of interviews, all trying to determine if anyone could recognize the victim from a composition sketch. Police uncovered that the young woman had been seen near some bars just before she died, but at first no one was sure who she was. Finally, though, after a woman who worked as a prostitute saw the sketch of the victim, she began to worry that the Jane Doe was her friend, Michelle Denise Sims, who had been working with her on the Saturday before the body was found. She thought her friend had lined up a trick with some people in a van on Nebraska Avenue and hadn't seen her since then. The girl was leery to call the police herself, so one of her friends contacted the authorities. 22-year-old Michelle's fingerprints were compared with the deceased. And
now what I'm about to do is going to look weird. I got a broken tooth that I got to get pulled soon. I got to put Orajel on it with a Q-tip. So just bear with me. That cold water's killing it.
confirmed to be her. Michelle had moved from San Bernardino County, California, where she had been a beauty contestant, to Florida 3 or 4 years earlier. While in Fort Pierce, Michelle worked as a receptionist at a massage parlor. Then in May 1984, the same month she was killed, she moved to Tampa, a decision that cost her her life.
I was thinking the
Red
same
fiber
thing.
samples were sent to the FBI to be compared against samples they had taken from Lana. And here was something shocking. The fibers on Lana and Michelle had come from the same nylon carpet. With this discovery, the police realized they likely had a serial killer on their hands. The sheriff warned the public that there might be a killer in Tampa targeting young women. He had no idea just how true that was. A month later, on June 24, 1984, Ronnie Barnes was working at an orange grove mowing the grass when he noticed a pair of tennis shoes sticking out from under an orange tree and a bad smell. Soon after, he called the police to tell them that he had found something horrific.
They told me not to try it. And it's basically the same thing as with the other 2 girls.
Which was to do what?
Tie her up. Had sex with her. Strangle her.
Okay, and then what happened?
They took her over by a tree.
Okay.
Put her up in some shrubs and laps.
Right off the bat, those living in the area told the police that they had frequently seen the victim walking past their homes. Though a lot of people recognized her, the police weren't completely certain that they were following the right lead. But they found the ex-boyfriend of a girl who matched the victim's description. David Quick told the police that his ex-girlfriend's name was Elizabeth Loudenbach. She was 22. The police were sure that Elizabeth was their Jane Doe and focused on interviewing any of the men that Elizabeth had dated. For a few months, there was a lull as investigators continued to struggle to find out who had killed any of these women. But any sense of peace ended on October 7th, 1984, when Clarence Hale and his wife went into one of their pastures to check on their cattle. He stopped to relock the gate and noticed a piece of yellow cloth laying on a tree stump in an overgrown area. He started walking through the grass and suddenly saw a body lying on the ground near the corner of the fence. The woman had been assaulted and then shot in the head and the neck.
And what happened?
She wouldn't strangle.
So what'd you do then?
Can you imagine finding a body on your fucking property? I'd be so scared. I just assumed that they were going to think that I did it.
I shot her.
You know where you shot her?
In the head.
You know what part of the head?
Back.
As the investigators once again began interviews, they found a woman who said she knew the
And I'm sure, I not like looking at me. I'm sure I'm having like a lot of like discomforting looks on my face. I can handle it what's in movies and stuff. But it gets to me when it's all real stuff.
victim and had actually met her while in the police stockade. She claimed that the victim told her she was in jail for prostitution, and both got out of jail at the same time. The women went to a lounge together and met up with some other prostitutes. She told the police that the victim seemed hesitant to go off with any of the men who stopped to pick them up. She seemed like a nice girl who didn't belong on the street.
I saw in the last notes there. Where's that? Nancy copped half a gram of coke, paying them $40. A pretty good deal.
The men who stopped to
good
pick
deal.
them up. She seemed like a nice girl who didn't belong on the streets.
I was pulled up. She came up to the window and I asked her what she was doing. She told me she wasn't what I thought she was. Meaning hooker, I would think. And we just got to talking.
The victim's name was Chanel Devin Williams. She was only 18 when she was killed and had moved from Winter Haven to Tampa only 1 month earlier. Just when the police thought there couldn't possibly be more victims, on October 14th, they received a call from a man who had been out hunting for artifacts with a metal detector in an orange grove near an old fort. While there, he came across a woman's bound body under a tree. Right away, investigators uncovered this girl's identity. 28-year-old Karen Dinsfriend was originally from St. Petersburg. Karen had been strangled with some type of ligature device, bludgeoned, and assaulted.
Okay, how did you go about running into her? She was walking down the street late at night. I asked her if she wanted a ride. She offered to have sex with me for $47. She needed $47 for a fix. Okay, what happened then? Same thing as with the others. I was getting nervous about this place. So, I think there were people around or something. Dogs were barking or they sounded close. Okay. So I put her in the trunk and I was going to take her somewhere else. Okay, when you got to the second orange grove, what'd you do with her? I took her out and drug her over to this tree. You didn't carry her? No, I drug her. Okay, was she wrapped in anything? Brown blanket. How come you had the blanket? I'd been using it to lay out in the sun on her.
As the investigation continued, it was uncovered that Karen had last been seen working on Nebraska Avenue, only several hours before her body was found in the grove.
It seems like the criteria is they're walking and accept a ride.
It seemed that Nebraska
Jesus
Avenue
Christ.
was the killer's hunting ground. A week and a half after Karen was found, Paul Botten was using a hydraulic backhoe to dig a ditch when he found the nude body of a young girl right where he was working.
Do you remember that one? And where did you meet her at? On Nebraska. Okay. Who was that girl, you know? Which one is this again? This was the one on 301 that was badly decomposed that we found October 31st.
Weeks later, her fingerprints were used to identify her as 22-year-old Kimberly Kyle Hops. There isn't much known about Kimberly, except that she had last been seen as she walked with a group of prostitutes in the middle of October.
She was working. I just pulled over the side of the road, she came up to the car and asked me if I wanted a date. Okay. And what'd you say? I said, yeah, how much? She said, it was $30. Okay, what happened?
Another good deal.
So she got in the car, and when we stopped the car, I just tied her up and did the same thing with the other girl.
The similarities in the way these women were killed is noteworthy because it shows the depths of the killer's psychopathy. Murder by strangulation is extremely morbid and horrific. It's also a display of ultimate power and control over the victim.
I strangled her. Okay, what was strangled her with, remember? She had a black, like, collar thing around her neck. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Was it still on her? You tell me. I don't remember. I don't either. That's the only one I didn't make.
Once again, investigators weren't sure that her death was related to the others, but the much-needed break in the case came from the most unlikely turn of events. 17-year-old Lisa McVeigh left her job at Krispy Kreme on November 3rd and was riding her bike home when she realized she was being followed by a car. As she passed by a church, she was knocked off her bike. That's when she felt a gun pressing to her left temple and heard a click. Lisa was forced into the car and forced to strip before she was assaulted, tied up, and blindfolded. Almost unbelievably, on this very day, Lisa had decided to take her own life and had even left a note on her dressing table. But now that she'd been abducted, Lisa decided that she was going to survive, no matter what it took. And if she didn't, she was going to make sure that whoever took her was caught. Lisa felt the car jolt as her kidnapper began driving, and at first, she had no idea where they were headed. Using her jaw, she managed to move the blindfold that had been tied over her face, allowing her to see just tiny glimpses of everything around her, including the car and the fact that they drove on the interstate north of Tampa. She took note of the word Magnum written on the dashboard, the white seats, and the thick red carpet on the floor mats. Because Lisa was menstruating, she made sure to leave her blood inside the car. Her captor pulled her from the car and led them inside an apartment, and Lisa counted 32 steps up to the door. Once inside, she noted the smell of fresh paint. When the man let her use the bathroom, she made sure she left her fingerprints everywhere she could. Lisa was determined that the police would know she had been in the apartment. She also tried to learn as much as she could about what her kidnapper looked like, even though she remained blindfolded. At one point, he took Lisa's hands and brought them up to touch his face. She used her fingers to feel that he had pockmarks, a mustache, and that his ears were small. He never let her see his face, but still, she tried to feel for anything that might identify him. She also peeked under her blindfold any chance she had to catch glimpses of him. If she survived, she wanted him caught. The man repeatedly assaulted her over the 26 hours that he held her captive. At one point, the man showed Lisa a bit of kindness and washed her hair. He fed her a ham sandwich, and when she was cold, he gave her a bathrobe to wear, but kept her tied up so she couldn't escape. Realizing that she could use this to her advantage, she tried to get him to sympathize with her. Lisa made up a story and told him that she was the sole caregiver to a sick parent. She also asked him why he did what he did, and to her surprise, he started to open up. He told her he had a bad breakup which made him hate women, but instead of being scared, Lisa told him he seemed nice and even said that maybe she could be his girlfriend. One of the reasons she reacted this way, trying to find the kindness in her kidnapper, was because she had experiences in her past and knew how to react in a way that wouldn't anger the man. And somehow, it worked. As Lisa was lying bound and blindfolded next to the man, he woke her at 4 in the morning the night after she'd been taken. He asked her what he should do with her, and Lisa again said she could be his girlfriend. Instead, though, he told her to get dressed and brought her back into his car. The man claimed that he would drop her off near her house, but first, he stopped at an ATM. Lisa had once again managed to loosen her blindfold and saw the sign for a local motel and shop. She knew exactly where she was. The man apologized to her before he stopped the car and let her out, warning her that she couldn't take the blindfold off for 5 minutes. When she got out, Lisa tripped on the curb and the man caught her before she fell. She heard him leave, and terrified that he would change his mind, she pulled off the blindfold to find herself in front of a tree in a churchyard. At first, the police were a bit skeptical that a 17-year-old girl had really managed to escape captivity and doubted her story. Yet when red fibers were found on Lisa's body that matched those found on other victims, the police realized that Lisa was the reason they would finally stop the man terrorizing Tampa. Lisa gave an incredibly detailed account of everything she saw and heard, but it was the word Magnum written on the dashboard that proved to be key. Almost immediately, investigators cross-referenced the names of Dodge Magnum owners in Florida to the people who used the ATM Lisa had seen. They found a name, Robert Bobby Joe Long. And here's the real kicker. Right after Lisa's testimony, at the height of the terror surrounding the killing spree, this very vehicle had been stopped on Nebraska Avenue on November 15th as part of the investigation. At the time, the driver had been told that they were stopped because their vehicle matched one that had been involved in a hit and run. He handed over his driver's license. It was none other than Bobby Joe Long. Bobby was cooperative and told the officer that he was on his way to get lunch and that he was unemployed. He even let them take a Polaroid picture of him and his car. However, he refused to allow his vehicle to be searched. The officer simply let him go, having no idea that they had just made a deadly mistake.
Never let the police search your vehicle, even if you have nothing to hide. Don't do it. Just don't do it ever.
Lisa was shown the Polaroid, and despite the fact that she didn't see him clearly because of the blindfold, she had seen enough to identify him. She was instantly certain that Bobby was the man who had taken her. Over a week after Lisa's incredible escape, on November 16th, Bobby was arrested for kidnapping and battery at a movie theater. But what the police didn't know at the time was that they were already too late. His car was impounded, and the red fibers that were found at almost every crime scene were positively matched to the carpet of the vehicle. Bobby was then interviewed, and boy, did he have a story to tell.
You said something earlier. The reason you let go. You want to say that again? I knew it would lead to me getting caught. How did you know that? I just knew it would. I knew she saw me. I had a pretty good idea she could see underneath the blindfold. And it was a real tug of war trying to decide if I should let her go or not. But I didn't want to hurt her.
Bobby had previously been arrested in 1974 for assault, but he explained that it was a completely different situation because he was married at the time and in the military, and he alleged that the woman who accused him had consented. Sure. On the same day Bobby was arrested, November 16th, he gave another unexpected confession. He said that he had kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered another woman, a woman whose body the police hadn't even found yet. Bobby told them exactly where to find the woman's body, and they immediately set out to locate her. The woman's skeletal remains were uncovered in a patch of scrub outside of Tampa. Her clothes were strewn around the scene. It wasn't hard to figure out her name. Her mother reported her missing on September 7th after she left for work the day before, but never made it back home. In fact, she had never even made it to work that day, which was unusual because the young woman was always punctual. 21-year-old Vicki Marie Elliott worked waiting tables overnight at a coffee shop in a Ramada Inn. She was getting ready to go back home to Michigan to study to become a paramedic, but she never had the chance. Because she walked a mile to work, Vicki always carried scissors with her for protection. She told people that men would frequently shout at her as she walked. Tragically, the scissors hadn't made a difference. They were found on the ground near her body.
Yeah.
Pulled around one of the side streets and started to do the same thing that I did to the other girls, but she pulled these scissors out of her purse and tried to stab me. Do you still have them on? I don't think so. It wasn't bad, just...
If you don't know how to use the weapon you're carrying, you're just giving your assailant an extra weapon to hurt you with.
Barely cut the skin. It was a struggle to get her tied.
But if you think it ends here, it doesn't. Not even close. Just days after his arrest on November 22nd, the police received another haunting call. Even though they had the monster in custody, they still didn't have the full story of his victims. A couple was walking in rural woods along a newly cleared drainage ditch when they saw a skeleton partially, specifically the skull, buried in a mound of sand. The body must have been uncovered as the drainage ditch was being dug. Because of the severe decomposition, it was believed that the body had been there for 3 to 6 months. What was clear, though, was the piece of rope tied around the tibia and fibula in a ligature, as well as around the hands and possibly also the neck. It was one of Bobby's victims.
The victims are still going through the fear that whoever victim is still out there, and it gives them peace of mind for the rest of their life to realize that you're not still out there and they're not susceptible, and maybe they can relax and start a normal life again. So anything you do it to help the victim. Get it off your chest.
Good example. When you let out of the car, remember I told you I didn't really believe the situation when I was first made aware of it. Made the comment to me, I said, for God's sake, why in the world didn't the first thing you did was stop the first car you saw on the street? She says, Sergeant Friday, I was scared to look at another car. It scared her so bad, she didn't know who was going to be in the next car. That's what I understand that. Okay, that's the point he's trying to make. That these women feel the same way.
The woman's exact cause of death couldn't be determined, but because investigators found a braided hairband, keychain with a Rubik's Cube, a small tennis ball, and a blue lighter, the woman's family was able to identify her. 20-year-old Artis Wick had been Bobby's first victim, who he kidnapped back on March 27th, beginning his 8-month killing spree. And still, it doesn't end here. After letting Lisa go, Bobby had killed 2 more women in the span of 6 days before his arrest. 18-year-old Virginia Johnson and 21.
I wonder if my wife or girlfriend know about this killer. Hey, lady. You know about the guy in the 80s who would just, like, pick up women off the street, tie them up and strangle them, and he got caught because he let one of them go?
What state?
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you know the killer's name?
No, but I know, like, exactly what you're talking about. The woman was... Yeah. Yeah, that's her.
Somebody put this into the... I think that's 2 of them, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna hop on when you back on.
Now my wife wants to watch the stream.
I was watching true crime stuff. I didn't know you were watching true crime stuff.
That's funny. I had a feeling she would know who it was.
1-year-old Kim Swan. Virginia was originally from Connecticut and was last seen on Nebraska Avenue. Her body was found on November 6th, just days after Bobby had taken Lisa. Kim, on the other hand,
when you
had
Oh wait,
been a
I'm
dancer
sorry.
at the Sly Fox.
It's in Florida. It was on Nebraska. Like that was like the road that came up a lot. I think they say it's Nebraska Road. Hang on. Yeah, Nebraska Avenue. I'm sorry. That came up like a lot. It's in Tampa, Florida.
Face looks familiar though.
But if I got it mixed up, I understand why you'd get it mixed up too.
After Bobby had taken Lisa, Kim,
I
on
might
the
have
other
seen
hand,
it
had
still.
been a dancer at the Sly Fox, but recently decided to change her life by enrolling in a program to become a medical technician. She was killed on November 11th after disappearing from a convenience store. As he was presented with hair and fiber evidence, Bobby leaned back in his seat and smiled, saying, "I guess you got me good. Yeah, I killed them. All the ones in the paper, I did them all." Psychopaths are proud of their horrific actions, will often show off about what they did, and take pleasure in the attention they are receiving. Bobby underwent psychological evaluations, and he was diagnosed with temporal lobe epilepsy
Oh, creepy looking dude.
that induced an altered state of consciousness, as well
Also, kind of looks like me when I was younger.
as inherited bipolar or manic
the hair.
depressive psychosis and an organic personality syndrome caused by tissue to the brain. In contrast, though, a third doctor said that they didn't find any indication that Bobby had a mental illness or disease except for severe antisocial personality disorder. Eventually, Bobby admitted to killing 10 women in total. It's very possible that the reason Bobby was so forthcoming with police was because he was proud of what he did, and he enjoyed describing the assaults and murders he committed. So his willingness to confess is likely due to a psychopathy, but not because he's insane. Psychopaths' narcissism is what causes them to enjoy attention and admiration. In Bobby's view, his murderous actions are worthy of admiration.
I have just one question. How'd you get a full-size woman to sit still? In my mind, Bobby, you can't tie her hands.
I was wondering about that.
Tie her and roll over on her stomach and recline the seat back.
Okay. There you go.
Sometimes it took more than just telling them. I would have to physically put their hands behind their back.
Did you ever have to strike them?
Yeah, a couple of times.
So, who was Bobby Long? The 31-year-old had been born in West Virginia. His parents separated when he was around 2 years old. Long's mother, Luella, raised him by herself. She worked late nights in a bar as a cocktail waitress, and Bobby reportedly resented her multiple short-term boyfriends. Growing up, Bobby suffered from a rare medical condition as he was born with an extra chromosome, which caused him to have a specific variation of Klinefelter syndrome. Because of this, he ended up growing breasts at 13, which he had removed with surgery. But as is often the case, he was bullied. He was reportedly deeply unhappy throughout much of his life. Other symptoms of this disorder include weak bones, decreased facial and body hair, less muscle tone compared with other men, and increased belly fat. It's possible that if Bobby had any of these characteristics, he may have developed various insecurities about his masculinity. This could have triggered his desire to victimize and overpower women in order to feel strong. As a teenager, Long met a girl named Cynthia. He confided in her that his mother embarrassed him with the way that she dressed suggestively and dated different men. They eventually got married in 1974 and had 2 children together. As he grew up, Bobby was injured on multiple occasions. Starting at a young age, he almost drowned, fell from a swing, and was knocked unconscious, and suffered severe head injuries on 3 occasions.
He was
At
hit by a car
19,
at
Bobby
7.
had joined the Army, but at 21, he was discharged after he was hit by a car while riding a motorcycle. His head, shoulders, and leg were seriously injured, and he spent several months in the hospital. After he recovered, there was a notable shift in his personality, resulting in being more short-tempered and physically violent. This injury may have marked the onset of traumatic brain injury for Bobby, which could have contributed to his psychopathic behaviors, though he may have had the predisposition for antisocial personality disorder, and then these head injuries made his condition worse. If there was a marked change in his behavior where he became physically aggressive with his wife, this really points to the fact that Bobby likely suffered a severe traumatic brain injury. This can impact a person's judgment and decision-making, depending on where the brain injury took place. So, after his divorce, which in itself is a stressful life event, Bobby probably became a ticking time bomb in terms of when he would begin acting on the severe anger and rage he had inside. It seems this event really spurred his crime spree because he began to use classified ads to meet vulnerable women in 1981. When he showed up at someone's house, if he found a woman alone and he had the opportunity, he would assault her. But this was just the beginning. Shockingly, Bobby eventually admitted to assaulting around 40 women. Yet he was never prosecuted by the authorities for most of these crimes because the statute of limitations had already expired by the time he was caught. Though he confessed to killing 10 women, Bobby only pleaded guilty in the murders of 8. Neenthai Peggy Long, Michelle Denise Sims, Elizabeth Loudenbach, Vicki Marie Elliott, Chanel Devin Williams, Karen Densfriend, Kimberly Kyle Hops, and Kim Marie Swan. In exchange for the plea, he received 28 life sentences, except for the murder of Michelle Sims, who he was sentenced to death for killing. After 34 years on death row, on May 23, 2019, at just before 6:55 p.m., now 65-year-old Bobby Joe Long was executed by lethal injection. No guests visited him at the prison before his death. Still, 25 people were there to witness his execution, including Lisa McVeigh, the woman who had not only outsmarted Bobby, but was the reason he was eventually stopped. I wanted to look him in the eye. I wanted to be the first person he saw. Unfortunately, he didn't open his eyes. She said she began to cry once it was over. The peace that came over me is a remarkable feeling. Since her kidnapping, Lisa McVeigh Nolan went into law enforcement. She works as a deputy with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the very same department that she had turned to in order to find Bobby Long and stop him for good.
Christ. Okay. Yeah, that was all really, really fucked up. It's fine to submit stuff like that, though. I'll say that. Oh my god, my wife and girlfriend watch this kind of shit all the time. Jesus Christ.
Yo,
that's all intense as fuck. I'm gonna put the next. I'm gonna go back to one of Beats' songs that he put in, and then I'll do Jabux, and then Elks, and then Rin put in a longer one, so I'll go back and oh, actually I'll do Elks. Oh wait, and then I'll go do a song, then Elks, and then we'll finish off with Rin's submission. While this one's going to the beginning, my wife and I got a card for our girlfriend because she's had a rough day, so I'm gonna sign it and write a little bit of stuff in this. That's why I'm looking down. I'm not paying attention to this. I'm just filling out the card. She's gonna be here before it ends.
Let me make it clear that I do not give a single shit whether or not I win this contest. Or what anyone on Funk Volume thinks of me. Especially Hobson's bitch ass. Alright, let's do it. Yo,
this must have been before the other one.
Damn it. See, I talk all this shit and then I miss the downbeat. So stupid. Fuck. Just have to wait till it flips over. Okay, here it comes. Yo. Look at your ass waiting like a dumb bitch. Wondering what kind of style I'ma come with. Oh, am I? Well, I figured it'd be as good a time as any for an introduction. Tell them, hey, I'm the J to the O. And if you don't know, just don't make any assumptions. I got a habit that I'm popping up and delivering thousands upon thousands of punches. When I take it down and sing, when I'm gonna have to bring a little something for my people in the dungeon. Motherfuckers try to chop, they put the same words in repetitive abundance. And I'm gonna get them everybody with a little bit of coming to get them, and then they all submitted them in the hundreds. You ain't tricking anybody with that bullshit. Right, son, with
if you could do this shit, then why didn't he do it on the last song? Holy shit, this is much more impressive, technically speaking. Alright, Beats, I seen you, you made a new one, I added you. In case you need the link again. And you made a new Discord. There you go. Anybody on YouTube, if you want to join us and put something in the Discord, by all means, feel free to do so. There's the link for that. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like the stream. It would be cool. It's nice. It helps me out. And if you're watching on Twitch, follows are free. I never ask for subs. You can feel free to. I don't. It's not like I don't like them or anything, but one of your fans needs to get me a sub. I've gotten so many ads. Sorry. We'll see. Fauna wants a sub really bad. So I can say that there's somebody who's in the Twitch chat right now that would love one. But I don't ask for them just because I think it's cringy when people do. But definitely sub and like on YouTube and follow me on Twitch. And if you like Fauna, you can gift her a sub. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I just put the Discord links in there. That's how you send in stuff for these streams. And I want to address it now. I was supposed to on Wednesday. I was going to react to Demon Mama Supported President Sunday. I mentioned it when I went over President Sunday's last video about Erudite. I'm still going to do it. Wednesday, my personal life had a lot of stuff come up. Our girlfriend had a very, very bad day. So I gave the whole day over to spending time with my wife and girlfriend, and we watched The Whale. And that is the saddest movie I've ever seen. I cried like 5 times. It broke my record for the longest cry I've had in a movie, and the... Huh?
That was yesterday.
It was Wednesday.
You right.
Yeah. It broke my record for the longest cry I've had during a movie and the most cries during a movie. Also, fantastic movie. All right, I'll play the video now.
I'll never make another rapper to appease. There isn't any sound away. Answer the call. Back from I guess all that I had wasn't all that great. There was something they took from me that meant more than you could ever imagine. Wait for the wonderful day when I drag him down to the depths of the treacherous labyrinth. Over and over we go around and around and we never get past. Yo, we can do better than that. Come on, let's get it moving. Here we go. Thought it unavoidable that I would die alone inside the prison when they let me in the shadows and the darkness. Wondering every moment if I never see the light again. I take another step into the middle of the garden. I took it upon my cause and the clear garment into the harlot when I turn it with the falling of my father. I came into the place. Here I am. Here we go. Now, for the next page. Wait a minute. Hey, center lead Joker. Yes, right ad-lib Joker. Where lower left auxiliary Joker?
Oh my god, I was about to ask the same question.
You know, he did say something earlier about buying face paint for something he was gonna do. He's probably up to something.
He really needs to grow up.
Juggalo
Seriously.
rapper interlude.
Oh my god.
I'm a juggalo. Murder you. You wanna know?
Really?
You don't wanna go
This
to
guy.
This, I guess let me put it this way. I have never not had a strong internal cringe whenever an adult human being calls himself a juggalo. Unfortunately, and some people close to me that are on that shit, and it's tough. It's tough, okay? Let me put it that way, it's tough. Yes, Fauna, you are extremely likable. I agree.
I'm
sorry about this, people. I'm sorry about this.
I'll chop you up and kill your girlfriend with a bomb. Oh my god, shut up. You sound like a freaking retard.
You just couldn't resist dissing somebody, could you?
I really couldn't. I just hate juggalo rappers
Yeah,
so
we know,
much
but
that-
now we
Okay,
gotta
good,
finish
good,
this
good.
damn video, so what do
He's
you
making fun
suggest?
of them.
We can just do that fast
Based.
chorus part from earlier again. That works.
There was something they took from me that meant more than you could ever imagine. Wait for the wonderful day when I drag him down to the depths of the treacherous labyrinth. Over and over we go around and around and we never get past it. Nah, we never get past it. Here's a little something for you ever get past it. Thought it unavoidable that I would die alone inside the prison when they let me in the shadows and the darkness. Wondering every moment if I never see the light again. I take another step into the middle of the garden. I took it upon my cause and the clear garment into the harlot when I turn it with the falling of my father. I came into the place. Here we go. Here we go. For the next page of the parchment.
Dude, the song's done. The song's done. Shut up. Oh, my bad. Fade out. What the hell?
I think I like that one better than the other one. Really fast. It had a really, really fast flow to it. I misjudged the Juggalo part. He was making fun of him. I support that 100%. If you have anybody in your life that calls themselves a Juggalo, I think it's important that you make fun of them so that they fucking stop. Don't do that shit. I think the last time that I was up north where my wife is from, where I lived, one of my friends dropped that on me. And I was just like, the fuck? Stop it. Don't do that. Are you fucking serious right now, man? And I hadn't seen him in like, or like hung out with him in like years. I was just like, this is not acceptable behavior. This is fucked up. This is from Javik and Conor McGregor went Ultra Instinct. I'm almost done with the card. So I'm just going to finish this up real quick and then I'll play the video. Hang on, lady. Okay, I'm going to start this video now. I appreciate your patience. I just wanted to make sure that she could get it when she got here and didn't have to wait for me to like fill it out in front of her. That'd be tacky.
Here, keep your mouth shut here. Never speak about me. Ever in your life. Watch yourself around me. Because you'll be out of here quick. Let me take my picture. Huh? Yeah, shut your mouth.
That's pretty good editing.
Too slow and too stiff. You're stiff as a board.
Again, it's not hard to pass. That's cold. Touch it. It's stone cold.
Here, hold on. Let me get my pose and my belt and my suit. Huh? Yeah, shut your mouth. Do me a favor. Get out.
To catch a varmint, you gotta be a varmint.
Right? Now? Yes, right. Are you sure?
I used to drag here back in high school.
Conor McGregor.
It's exactly a quarter-mile away from here. On green, I'm going for it.
现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。拉力！
While this video may be fairly cringy, the editing is really good. I gotta give him that.
To steal Floyd Mayweather's hat. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Get Al Haymon. Absolutely. Don't need Al Haymon. Let me call Al Haymon. I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss. One night. Got your hat. Got your hat. Jay! Let's go. Let's go, baby. Got your hat.
Get some help out here.
What the hell? That son of a bitch!
Look at Orton.
Oh my God!
No! Good grief! This is not right.
Randy Orton? Yeah! What the hell is this? Oh, I got him right between the eyes!
That was very silly. Video. Okay. Not my cup of tea, but this motherfucker got 3 million views, so I ain't gonna say shit. I ain't gonna say shit on him. You're more than welcome to send me more of anything like that. I think you got a laugh out of me too. And you did say too, 3 minutes of pure editing genius. Very, very, very good editor. All right, yeah, Elk. I'm gonna do Elk's thing. Beats, Elk, then Fauna. Oops, shit! I opened it up in the Discord. Aw, man. I thought when I saw this, I thought it was gonna be a trailer to a sick movie. I guess, like, I'm not, like, shitting on it being a song. Like, that's fine, it's a song. I just got excited thinking that it was a trailer, because that looked cool. Wait a minute. This person has like 400 subs. Is this you? This isn't you. You got to know the person who did this, right? Elk? Well, I'll play it while I wait the response. Not you. Okay. I just realized this could have just been uploaded by whoever. Okay, did you upload this then? Oh, okay. This song is very busy. There's a lot happening at every point here. Yeah, I feel like this track is like completely saturated with as much sound as they could possibly squeeze in here. That doesn't sound bad. It's different than a lot of stuff that I listen to, though. I'm interested to see if that what's the word? Like that over like over amped up bass would sound good on subs. My wife said it sounds like the song that would go good to hang on, I'll show you.
Arms up in the air.
So I'm just going to overlay it onto the song. Oh, see you later, Elk. It works. Yeah, I'd say she got that pretty good. I think the only thing I can really catch on this is the word ninja.
Pull up.
Okay, I can hear original ninja. It wasn't bad. It was a lot for me to track it once, though. A lot of sounds. I can't think of the word for how that bass was. It was just like distorted. Yeah, it was like the bass was so loud that it got distorted. I might have liked it better if they didn't do that. I'm not sure though. I'm not used to that. Usually, like if I'm in my vehicle and I hear that usually means something's wrong. So I think that's where I'm coming from there. And beats on your new Discord, I am giving you voice perms. Right now. There you go. I'm going to kick your old one out. There we go. Okay, let's see. Now we have... Oh, there we go. Well, I'll save Elks then. I'm going to do one more from Beats. And then I'm going to play Fauna's, the Florin Systems video. It's another short fat otaku video.
I'd like to welcome one and all. This is my game show. Who the next contestant? Wanna press your luck? Step right up.
Their name's Ubi? Beats, I swear to God, I don't know anybody who knows more white rappers than you.
Up and test your might. It's more exam than test to specify what kind of test. I'll testify. They trying to test my nut. I'd rather not flex and bust to have an effect, but fuck, I guess I must. Y'all about to catch a rush. Looking perplexed as fuck. Some of you would prefer I kept it clean, but nevertheless I cuss. You'll never get next to us. Your flow and your record are both collecting dust. I know I get a couple check like Russ, but never getting my respect like what? Yo, step it up. I'm aiming it well when I'm done and I'm heated. They couldn't tell if I'm coming or leaving like David Chappelle. In a couple of seasons, I take them to hell. I'm a summon a demon. Play with yourself in the on Genesis and I'm making them yell like a fucking rebellion. Music you're making is stuck on the shelf and you praying they buy it, but nothing is selling. Love it or leave it, you made him a villain. Coming to eat him, I raking $1 million. I spin a reviewer, the paper I'm billing. A minute or two, I'll be making a killing. Making the present from out of your organs. You're facing your death, I'm about to record it. Pay for the press, I know how to support it. Whatever you think and you thought was important is ordinary. If you torn his hair me, you'll be buried inside of a mortuary. The pen is mighty, but the sword I carry causing genocide inside a war. Declare me the imperial menace of morbid Aries. I'm terrifying, you sort of scary. To clarify, I'm a border Aries. I'm a Taurus, staring through your territory. Territory, very gory. Canadians know when I'm very sorry. Make American pie with a cherry for me. I'ma leave one alive that'll share the story on some Mickey and Mallory. And Mikado producing I'm eating, I'm getting my calories. It's a fatality. If mom and dad listening into this shit, then they proud of me. Which of you doubted me? You, her, him, or you kidding? I'm about to be upper echelon. I'm bending my boundary. Boy, you tripping. You don't think that they scouted me right as we speak? Somewhere out in the crowd when I'm riding the beat. Looking at me thinking I was a geek. Why cause my skin is whiter than my teeth? I am an energizer in elite. Homie, I'm never dying in defeat. So if you jeopardizing what I eat, you either step aside or get the cleats. Whoever said that I was at my peak, I am electrifying at the least. My rhyming weaponized when I release it. I got them all petrified, I'm about to preach. Yo, stop playing with me, y'all. I wanna see you moving. If you don't start the movement soon, I'm about to stop the music. I got you on the spot now. I am an opportunist. Too many yakking hard like I didn't make it pop. I got to prove it. I had to do it. All of my Colorado people dab into it. Shatter rappers into bits, then crumble them down and use them to wax a Buick. I wax poetically pattern, improving you lacking and tap into it. UBI and under bad influence. I'm in support of universal basic income, upbeat initiatives, upper brow insanity, uninhibited bitches. I'm a undisputed bully, instigator, usher business in, utter brilliant ideas, unaffected by ignorance. You wanna try it? Y'all like united by impotence or unbridled.
I didn't know that his name is supposed to be pronounced UBI. This part's sick. I like this. This is good.
Belligerent idiots under big imprints, uneducated blokes invoke unrest, branding innocence, unusual bigots, icing undocumented immigrants. Whoops, I missed a B, but I damn sure didn't miss a beat. This that fucking one nobody skips.
That's pretty good.
You got to hit repeat. Fuck you thought it was, bruh. That's why they stopped me in the streets. Copy what I jot then re-release. But at least I got my head blown up like Mr. Bill. I don't flip my image just to fit the bill. Or get with gimmicks that the kids will feel. A couple face tattoo with a couple lean. Tricolor hair and prescription.
Hello?
It scared me. That one wasn't bad. I always think it's a win if a white rapper doesn't sound like ICP. So, but then no, that was just actually good. Oh, he's on Tech's label. That makes sense. By the way, you sound great this time. Beats? I was talking to you. Who was here? I heard him say-
I am here.
Okay, okay. Cool. I was turning it down a little bit. That last song was pretty good. I wasn't decided really, but when he did like the UBI verse, that was pretty good. Is that
Yeah, his full name is Ubiquitous.
Oh, okay. I see. So when he abbreviates it, is it supposed to be Ubi then? Or UB?
Just UBI. Yeah.
Okay, okay, UBI. Yeah, that was pretty slick. I'm so glad that it doesn't sound like you're in a train station anymore.
Yeah. I don't know what was happening. It was picking up the mic on my laptop as opposed to the one on my headphones for some reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're pretty new to Discord. I can help you fix that later. Discord, even for me, I've worked in IT like my whole life. It's pretty overwhelming at first. There's like a lot to it.
Well, yeah, I got it working now, so it seems to be working. I just watch in on the stream and I got the streams muted, so
Oh, gotcha.
it's the stream's a little lagged from what I'm hearing, but other than that, it's working now.
Yeah, the stream's just a little bit behind. I forgot to mark some of these off. We got a song from gosh, I'm bad at marking these. From Elk, and then Faunas, and I think we have one left from you. that'll probably get brought over to next time. Let me see. How long is this be? Yeah. Your last one here that's UBI.
Yeah.
That one will be from next time. Oh, Elk. You made it. We're just about to play your other submission. I think it's a song. I don't know if it's a song or if it's just a video. And Beats got into the Discord and we can hear him now. Sorry, give me one moment. Okay, I thought my wife needed me. She was just using me to stop herself from falling. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. When's the last time you put out a video, Beats? Just out of curiosity. Preview F1. This is a game show. Oh, really? Would I lie to you? Interesting. Are you typing?
Sorry?
No worries.
It's you,
It's apple pie tonight.
Is it? Since Friday then?
Yes.
Following advice from Chris Rea, I always crack a...
I would like this game show.
Yeah, sorry, my wife just called me.
Oh, no worries. Are you still uploading regularly?
Yeah, usually at least once a week.
Sick.
Yeah, I've been going for three years now. I started January 1st, 2020. So.
Oh no shit. I think next Friday I'm gonna start off. I'm not even you submit more than anything else. I'm not gonna have anybody, especially not you, pick. I'm gonna find the video that I think looks the most interesting and I'm gonna watch that first before I do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I subscribed to you? Let me see if I'm subscribed to you. If not, I'm gonna be.
I can give you a lot of some videos to watch. A lot of my reaction stuff is all worldwide music and different artists from different genres and stuff. So some of that stuff I don't know if you'd be into, but there is a lot of heavy metal stuff that I do, and I did a lot of Nightwish reactions. I'm still doing Nightwish, and even there's a lot of like tribal bands and shit. I don't know if you're into that kind of stuff, but fuck, some of them are pretty crazy.
I don't know. I might be. I really like
Yeah.
Tool, and they have like really they're like their drums have like really strong like tribal feels to them.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a band called High Lung?
No.
No, they're pretty crazy. They're a German tribal band, and they do like these Celtic friggin' like ceremonies during their concerts and stuff. It's friggin' it's crazy visual
wait a minute.
experience. And
I'm aware of them. So I bought a PS4 Pro off this guy that I used to play Magic with. And
Yeah.
at some point his life just completely fell apart. He was like living in a tent or whatever. And he knew that I would buy it. He was going to take it to the game store and he knew I'd give him more money for it. So I went over there and I bought the PlayStation and some other stuff off of him to help him out because he was going to find some other place. And like he paused, he pulled out his laptop and he showed me this band and they were doing like some kind of a pagan ritual on stage. And he said like all the bones are like real bones and stuff.
yeah,
That's them, right?
that is them. That is them. Yeah, because they use bones as their instruments and shit. It's freaking
Yes,
crazy.
it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same band.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really pay attention because this guy, the guy I'm talking about, he like when I met him before, when I played Magic with him, he was like trying to get his license to be like a pilot in the Air Force or like work for the Air Force, but not like in the Air Force. And he wanted to be a pilot. He had it all planned out.
Mhm.
And when I seen him and he's like getting rid of this stuff to go on to some other place, he got kicked out of this like big ass tent he was living in somebody's property. He was just like so like his brain was just like completely fried out from like doing like a lot of acid in a short period of time.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like in awe at like the transformation of the guy that I seen. Like when I first met him, I had to tell him to shut the fuck up or leave because I worked at the store, and he was making people uncomfortable. He's like being like loud and misogynistic and stuff. He was just like very like he apologized after and said that like during lockdown all he did was watch like a bunch of conservative YouTube videos and he didn't have anybody to talk to about it. So like I empathized with him, but I was like, that's cool, but like if you talk about stuff like that, you got to make sure nobody's uncomfortable around you. This is like a safe place for nerds. Nobody should go to Magic
Yeah.
and feel uncomfortable. And if anybody says they're uncomfortable, shut the fuck up. Like it's that simple, man. And if there's any women in here, just don't. And if somebody 4 tables over says that they don't like what you're saying, you don't get to argue with them. You just don't. But he's just so cocky and confident. Just see him so like withered and defeated. It was really weird. So I couldn't pay attention to the band at all. I was just sort of like, my brain was just reeling from seeing this transformation of this guy. But I might check that out. I like Celtic music, like traditional Celtic music. Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy stuff out there. A lot of the stuff I do is from different countries in the world and stuff, and a lot of it is just friggin' amazing, man. And it's like, fuck, some of the vocal singers, like, are you into like vocal singers? You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like American Idol kind of fucking singers, but like fucking, you know, Celine Dion, you know,
I assume
what was her
Adele
name?
would be one.
Adele kind of thing. Adele, yeah. But like, there's some that are just, they're just, they blow them out of the water, it seems,
I don't
from
know. Like
different countries.
it seems like I guess to put it this way, like I understand what people get out of it, and it doesn't sound bad to me, but it's usually not the kind of thing that I seek out. Like one of my favorite bands is Hurt, and the thing that I really like about their singer is that he uses 2 microphones. One of them is to like give his voice this weird distortion, and they use volume different than any other band that I've seen. Like even like not just yelling, like being very quiet at certain parts and like just escalating their volume at other parts to put emphasis on things. Because they're like a really lyric heavy band.
Yeah, I actually started listening to the first 3 songs off the album that you sent me, the volume 1.
Oh, how'd you like that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they were good. I enjoyed their sound.
Hell
sure.
yeah, dude. My buddy
Yeah,
Kia Weird
I
does
gotta
not
check
like
it.
them.
You know, I gotta check out some more of the album, because I just listened to the first 3 songs.
Oh man, when you after you listen to it, we should do stream about it.
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna
sure.
in the near future I was gonna do a stream breaking down the first 2 volumes and show how they tell a story all the way through, and then like track 1 and track 1 off of each one kind of tell their own story. I wanted to get into that.
Yeah.
It's I don't listen to music for the lyrics per se, but when they're good, I very much appreciate them.
Oh, I love lyrics. I love everything about music. But the lyrics are what really get me.
I would hope so, based on your name. I also, though, I guess I say that broadly. Some music I very much listen to for the lyrics, but I don't know why it's fashionable to shit on that anymore. That doesn't really make sense to me.
There's a lot of artists that reuse lyrics that have been used over and over again, and it's hard to find that artist that has creative lyrics that, you know, you never heard before, and he just blows your mind with almost every line he says, you know?
Yeah, I guess that is kind of rare. But it seems like when I
Like
point that out, people are like, yeah, but like I care about the instrument only. Like that's fine, but like why do you have to like shit on the lyricist?
And like even like with that Joyner Lucas song, the Ross Cappuccioni,
Yeah.
just for Joyner Lucas to be an artist who created and wrote these stories, and like he didn't write the story obviously, but he created the raps to tell the story, and you know, for him to do that as an artist, like that shit just blows me away.
Yeah, do you see his backwards? He has 2 of them.
Backwards? No, I'll have to check them out. I was actually going to ask you if you knew of any other songs that were kind of designed like those.
Yeah,
Because they're like
does 16 bars forwards, and then he does them backwards, and it still makes sense. He only has to change like 3 or 4 words in like all 16 bars to make it fit perfectly backwards, and then he does it again in the video, and he does it a third time in the video, and then he went on to one of the rap shows, like podcasts, and they called him out and said, "I don't believe you that you did that off the top of your head, so I challenge you to do it now." And he did it twice live. Dude is actually fucking insane. He definitely doesn't have the recognition he deserves. He's insane.
I'll definitely have to check him out for sure.
Yeah,
I love shit like that. Dude, when an artist can create stories and shit like that, just it's no different than making a movie or writing a book or but putting it into a song and having the melody to it, and it's just another. It's like it becomes a masterpiece when they do something like that,
Yeah, the narrative storytelling. Yeah, people label that as corny a lot, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand a lot of people's opinions on music because people just want to hate on music when they don't understand that all these artists did was sit down to make music for really nobody but you.
Yeah.
I hope you listen to it. And
Key of Weird has really strong opinions about people's opinions about music.
yeah. Yeah, I was checking out his channel actually the other week when we were on the React stream.
He is one of my favorite streamers. He's really good. I don't think I would just assume that you don't follow me on Twitter, but I just retweeted. Somebody made a song out of him talking over a Death Grips song, which I don't like Death Grips. I put a link to that in my YouTube. It was really, really good. It was really funny. Right, I'm gonna start this, but feel free to hang out in here, and if you have anything to say, feel free to say it too.
Yeah,
I'll pause it for you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Into my bath. I've done for 22 years.
We should say for any of the
Is that-
younger viewers, some
Is that Paris Hilton?
of my fans, who Chris Rea was a very popular singer.
When did Chris
No,
Rea
she's
give
too
you this
old.
advice, and in what context?
I was making a single for Middlesbrough Football Club's FA Cup appearance called
What the fuck? You see this guy's eyes?
Give you this advice, and in what
Elk.
context?
I was making a single for Middlesbrough Football Club's FA Cup appearance.
This man is fully fucked up. It's like he has nothing but pupil there. That's horrifying.
Called Let's Dance, which I did with Chris Rea. And after we completed the recording, he popped me into the bath, and there was an egg. It's an egg in it.
I believe him.
He popped you into the bath. He said, it's been a long day, you must be very tired. I'll just pop you into the bath. So where was this bath? Was it at the recording studio?
It's on a little island in the middle of the Thames. It's as rare as recording studio is.
So you've been recording, presumably, in a room without a bath?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you finish the recording, everyone's very happy with the track.
Yep.
And he says, Bob, you look tired.
This
Maybe
man
your
ate a
joints
quarter
are
of mushrooms
aching
before this show.
This way.
No, it's not exactly like that. It says, that's it, Bob. I think we've got that leg. That's your bedroom, that's your bath. I've popped an egg in there for you.
Is it Geordie?
Yeah.
He's like where I'm from, Middlesbrough.
Right.
But he's much more Middlesbrough than me, like.
And why would he put an egg in your bath? What was the thinking behind it?
I've never found out.
You've done it ever since.
All I know is that I woke up the next morning and I have never felt so alive.
Was the egg still in its shell, floating, or had he gone?
No, the white had dissipated. Does that work?
Yeah.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. It's non-greasy, which is a boon, isn't it?
Is it non-greasy?
Yeah, honestly.
It's less greasy than water without egg in it?
Do you have to mix it up, or do you just crack it and let it float?
Do you know what? You get in the bath.
Wait, why
even
are
the
you
bath where
sorry?
I am now, and you get in, and you really don't want to burst the yolk. So the white goes, but the yolk.
You didn't do anything wrong, Elk. No, I don't think you did anything wrong. What'd you do?
Yolk's there, and you move like that, and you try and get it to come towards like that. And I don't know why, but you just do.
Have you ever had it get in your mouth?
You get it like that. And then you get the yolk, and I use it for hair conditioning. I don't have much hair, but to condition the hair on my skin.
So, just going back to the original occasion, Chris Rea had already run you a bath.
Yes.
I forgot about that detail.
I know, but if you knew Chris, it's just so Chris. Yeah. Do you know, the other thing is a couple of weeks later, he sent me a gold doily.
Right. To dry yourself off.
Whatever you think you did wrong, Elk, you did nothing wrong.
These things are just so Chris.
Do we think that the way Bob describes what happened to the egg white, is that... He says it just dissipates. Is that
If your bath
plausible?
is hot, then you're going to have a poached white.
I'd have thought the white would turn white. And
Well,
there'd
no,
be
no,
bits
no,
of
wow,
white.
how hot is
Yeah,
your
from the heat of the bath. Oh.
Your bath is hot enough that an egg could poach
Well, I
you.
don't know. Your claim is that it dissipates. I'm asking my team whether we believe that it would dissipate. Because if, for example, at the temperature of bath, say 39 degrees Celsius, the white would turn opaque, then your story
Oh shit, did my YouTube go down?
Agreed.
Yeah,
Absolutely agreed.
Oh, yeah, it did. I had it scrolled down so I could see the chat. Well,
What do you think, David?
I think it's fair to say that if anyone else had made this allegation about Chris Rea and an egg in their bath, we wouldn't be giving it a moment's consideration. Somehow, coming from Bob, it might be true. It's true.
I think.
You think it's...
I think it's true because he's been about a bit, Bob.
No.
I think the white would poach.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the egg is the
Yeah,
egg.
it's
chemical
copyrighted.
analysis of the behaviour of the albumin.
David, honestly, one thing, please don't base it on the albumin whitening. It does not happen. It does not. I can't have a bath at 80 plus degrees.
Is that the temperature at which an egg white will
80 it'll start at about 80, yeah. Honestly, please don't base it on that.
What should I base it on, Bob?
George...
What are you going to say?
Instinctively, I believe it.
Yeah.
We're going to go true.
You're saying true? OK, so Bob, Chris Rea, eggs, baths. Is it the truth? Or is it a lie?
This is awful.
I was telling a lie.
oh. He was so smooth with it, though. He's genuinely believable.
Of course it's a lie. He said Chris Rea put an egg in his bath. Of course it's a lie. It's obviously a lie. Who could possibly believe that? It'd be more likely that someone was stuck in a car wash for 3 hours.
Yes, it's a lie. Bob doesn't crack an egg into his bath following advice from Chris Rea.
I did start to believe him less when he talked about the yolk, but I was still on truth there. Well. Yeah, it's a good show. I wonder, is it on any streaming services, Elk?
I've never seen it.
I've never even heard of it. Buddy of mine, the guy who DMs my D&D, like watches a lot of BBC. So he would probably know. All right, this is the last video, because Let's see. Did my stream come back yet? I give my YouTube a minute. Oh, this is 2020. I was gonna say this is relatively new. My girlfriend should be here soon. Let me check. But I know that she's got to take a shower. Let me see. Jeez, I missed a bunch of texts. Yeah, she'll be here soon. So, hopefully, this wraps up when she's done. But I did want to go past 9 because I started late. You missed it last week. Yeah, Fauna, you can join too. Last week, god damn, is it still down? Let me refresh the page. It is still down. Wild. YouTube also doesn't update my viewer count. I have to refresh to see it, which is weird. Last week, so you see me the first week I did this, and I took a couple hits off a joint, and I was fine. I got a little high, and I think it made things a little bit more fun for me. Made me a little bit more loose and all that. And then last week, you weren't here. And I got way too high. I seen there was 9, and I had just a little bit of time in between the 2 streams I was doing. I went and laid in front of a fan for like the whole time. I was unwell. But I think because it had dried up so much from being out for a whole week, out of the container, or I don't even know if it was, but it was already pretty aged when I hit it. I was just so dry that I got 2 massive hits, and I was like not great. After that, having not smoked
It
for
looks
3
like
years.
YouTube's back up.
Yep. Thank you, and thank you, Elk, for telling me, because I have to like scroll all the way back up to see it. I don't have a good way to have my Twitch and YouTube chat visible without them without squishing it so that YouTube is chat and screen is visible at the same time. I need them side by side so that way I only have to look one place, otherwise I'll forget. Okay. Yeah, Fauna, you can join, or I guess it's Rin. Rin, you can join whenever you want. Female fragility. What an interesting topic. No, by all means. You have voice perms.
Why does it say February 21st instead of 1st?
Oh, God. I didn't notice that.
What didn't you notice?
Beats just pointed out it says February 21st instead of 1st.
Beautiful.
I'm just gonna force it to 1080p. Alright. The last one was pretty good.
Alright guys, we're gonna have to talk about Project Melody at least for a little bit. I've seen a lot of people's takes on it. I've seen Dankula's, I've seen the Corridors, I've even seen
What time
Andy
are you gonna
Horsley.
be
I'm
streaming
kinda
till?
surprised that he's still around.
I'm gonna be streaming until this one ends. So
okay.
My girlfriend's already out of work.
Go to
When she
Discord?
gets here. What's that?
Do you stream video to Discord?
Oh, yes, I will stream it to Discord.
Curious for your reactions to this.
But you better not be leaving the stream because I am. Just mute it or whatever.
No, I'm not leaving.
No, I meant Rin. Like, can you stream it to Discord? That way I can close your stream and lower your view count.
You know, but good for him. He's making videos again.
No,
offense to those
we're the
guys
same
at
way
all.
with
They make
other
good work. I
people.
love watching them.
Good.
But I think there's an underpinning to this that people aren't really talking about. So maybe
Salted
we can go
with
over
her
it a little bit.
tears.
So I'd say about 6 months ago, thanks to a commenter on my channel, I discovered Flame Knight 7. Their whole shtick is that they have a really hot anime girl avatar and full motion body tracking in VR chat. And what they'll do is they will record themselves doing lap dances and other sexy dances to popular music. I did in fact decide to check this person out. and it turns out that it's actually a guy doing the dances, which is honestly kind of interesting because this person knows how to dance like a very sexy woman, and yet it's a dude. In fact, it is an overweight Asian guy. And I remember at some point thinking, you know, this is going to get turned into porn. You know, at some point, it's not just going to be VR chat.
Coding Vibes. This is a short Fat Taco video that was submitted by Fauna of Flora. So whenever you're here on Friday, just keep in mind, I'm not responsible for anything that's on the screen here. I'm just following the rules that I set, okay?
Wait, Drazi, are we... You didn't pay me to post that?
I have literally 100% of the short Fat Taco videos I have watched is from you.
I get it. All right, paycheck.
You don't blame me for any of this, but I am intrigued. I am intrigued.
Simulated sex. And 6 months later, oh, I'm not following her. Hold on. There we go. And 6 months later, we got Project Melody. I decided to look into the backlog of this person's Twitter account, and it really seems like since the start of...
Wait, world's first 3D hentai cam girl. Okay, so I don't know so much about this, but that's a lolly picture. If this is the thing here, then that's just lolly.
The account, they've been role-playing as an AI, the same way that like Kazuna Ai does, but also that they've been contacting the same people that make those anime avatars for VR chat in order to custom order one for herself. And unlike Flame Knight 7, this actually is a woman behind the scenes. Either that, or it's a guy with a near-perfect voice synthesizer or something. So here's what actually happened. Project Melody decided to start up a Chatterbait channel, where she would, I guess, dance around in her room or in her house or wherever, and the full motion body tracking would translate those movements into an anime avatar dancing around whatever.
I'm very confident, Coding Vibes, that this is real. I am so sorry if you are new to the internet, but this is this is something that you should just automatically assume is real. If it involves porn or sex, like, you should just err towards real every time on the internet.
Scene she happened to be in. And unlike Flame Knight 7, she would do explicitly sexual stuff, since that is Chatterbait. And Chatterbait is the kind of website where basically you'll go and pay a model to do stuff on camera. Sexual stuff, obviously. But this isn't a model, it's an anime girl. There is a model behind it, but you're not looking at the real thing, you know? And it's because of this.
Wait, why does he sound so shocked about this when people are choosing to pay models to do things on a webcam instead of just going to a fucking strip club? I don't understand.
All the actual models...
This is just like the next step over.
They got really mad. They got really mad because it turns out Project Melody, even though she was only on the site for 3 days, broke all records. Tonight was eventful. We broke Chatterbait chat, historical room visitor count, tipping was off the charts, I went full nude, I hit 90k plus Twitter followers, and I came so hard my arm clipped through my body. Very clearly there is a demand for this. And she did hit #1 on the front page, beating out the flesh and blood women. At this point, I think we've all heard the ridiculous tweets from Crystal69Rivers, who, despite being on Chatterbait for 5 years, only became well known because of her raging at Project Melody. But you know what? It's still funny to go over it, so let's go over it.
Wait, she's mad because why would you announce it then? Why would you talk about it? Why would you want people to know that you got beaten out by a fucking 3D anime girl? That feels embarrassing if that's your job, which is why she's bitching, but doesn't that just make it more embarrassing?
Wow, Chatterbait, now it's at 20k tokens and
people that live on
50K
Twitter
people.
are fucking weird.
Good job, a cartoon's beating all us real people. And...
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yep.
I check my Twitter when the little red dot pops up on my bookmark. That's
Chatterbait.
it.
This person's very well known for not being able to fucking spell. It sounds like she probably should have stayed in school. But she's mad that an anime avatar is making more money than her, even though it is a real person underneath, and the tech did take some work to set up. This is the person that made the model, DigiTrevix. Not trying to get into drama, but you don't have much of a concept of how hard this is to do. She's made for an open market of people that enjoy anime and internet culture. She isn't targeting you or anyone. If you feel self-conscious, that's on you. And of course the reply is just losers. Now keep this in mind for later, because we're going to have to go over this mentality later in the video. It's important to remember this specific take. I'm going to throw in too. Humans have to take breaks and rest. A computer-generated cartoon can be on all day, every day, with a voice recording rambling on in the background to try and give it some life. We, us humans, are putting in real hard work, killing our bodies for you for a living. Well, first of all, that does seem to be what any man who ever takes a laborious job,
Yeah.
or a job with danger pay, or who works as a soldier, or even as like a...
Wait, if you're... I don't know how Pokey Bitch, I guess, I'm not gonna say her whole name. How can you even have this stance if, like, what you're doing, if you're a cam model, and this is what you do, like, what you would say about your job is that you're providing people with, like, a niche desire, fantasy to be fulfilled online. It's exactly what the other person is doing. Like, any argument you can make is the same for them. Like, why? I don't understand. You're not providing what these other people want. There's just a bigger, it's just what she's doing is less niche. That's it.
trucker or a miner or something. Any job that destroys your body, that's the same logic. And nobody appreciates them anymore, so why should you be appreciated? Maybe that's the wrong way to go with this kind of thought. But still, there is a double standard here. But more importantly, she doesn't understand what's going on. This is not a generated cartoon, and it's not pre-recorded voice clips. The point is the interaction. People watch streams, both sexual and otherwise, for the interaction. It's kind of why streaming killed Let's Playing, because it's basically the same thing, but there's interaction with the stream. And of course, the proper reply is Lamau stay mad. LoveSense interactive toy? Get the fuck out. This is still a real person after all, just wearing a fuck ton of tech for the body tracking. But it shouldn't be on the site. And the 15k people watching and enjoying the show disagree. I'm sure a lot of those 15k
What do you want to bet not a single person provides an actual argument?
will probably bleed off in the coming months as the meme dies down. And I think a lot of them...
One argument could be is that how do we know that this person is of age to be doing this? I
are
bet they
there
don't make that
basically
argument.
for the laughs and not necessarily for the sexual content. Because this is in fact happening right now. But nonetheless, there's still an argument to be made. You can't cripple something because it's popular and it's not you. It's almost like you have to have a competing product that can beat it in the marketplace.
Yes.
But still, look at this take. Shouldn't be on the site. For no real reason. Like, it still matches the sexual description of the site, but just shouldn't be there. No. You know what this is? This is like Twitch Thoughts taking over Twitch, but it's happening in reverse almost. I mean, it's not
Twitch
guys
Thoughts?
running into Chatterbait and taking over Chatterbait.
Oh, Twitch
but it
Thoughts.
certainly is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a new demographic moving into the site and starting to change it and tilt it in a different direction. That's what happened with Twitch, and everyone who complained was just called a crying man baby or something. And of course, we can also indulge in some Schadenfreude here.
What stops it from being a farmed economy type thing? I'm not familiar with the phrase. Okay, I don't know what that means. You know what that means?
Which part?
Coding Vibe says, what stops it from being a farmed economy type thing? He says, we have one person. Oh, and they control 18 accounts that all link back to them, but they have these models. Oh, damn, I lost some followers at some point during this. I don't, I guess I don't know why that would be bad either, though. Like, what's stopping it? Probably nothing, but what's stopping somebody from doing that with real models, too? It seems like any problem that you can suggest for what she's doing can be made for any of the real-life models. Still have no tags. You're letting a cartoon on the front page. I have given yakking 5 years of my life amid this. Oh, and this is how models get repaid. Room subject changed to hey, goal is come show chubby, thick, curvy, gamey, nerdy, pog, pale, subs, queer, PVTC. I'm not going to read all these out loud anymore.
I still have no hashtags, and you're letting a cartoon on the front page. I have given yakking 5 years of my life, and this is how models get repaid. You probably should have done something else with those 5 years. Maybe you should have gone back to school and learned how to spell. But more importantly, unless you're a digital model like, you know, Project Melody.
I don't condone shitting on people for making typos when they type on Twitter. That has nothing to do with me. So obviously I don't ever typo on Twitter, but
Do you really expect to be able to be on Chatterbait as a full-time career for like the next 50 years of your life? It's not going to happen. Let's say that you work from the age of 20 to 65. All right, let's just throw that age range out there. You can work a lot of jobs from 20 to 65. Maybe not physical ones unless you really want to destroy yourself, but a lot of office jobs you can do for that period of time. A whole bunch of careers are open to you. Chatterbait isn't. What is the absolute upper limit of Chatterbait before you start getting into like fetish territory?
Hey, what's wrong with
Maybe
getting into fetish
35
territory?
at the most, and that's if you're looking young. That's 15 years. What are you going to do with the rest of your life?
no, you can. Well, I guess if MILF is a fetish, then yeah, okay, never mind.
Maybe you shouldn't be spending 5 years of your life on this, and you should be trying to get ahead by some other metric. And of course, this same person goes down the anime is pedophilia rabbit hole, which I'm probably going to have to do a larger video on at some point. I'm trying to work and I can't get hashtags and I have to go against this? What the fuck, Chatterbait? I didn't know you were trying to get children on your site. I will quit CB if this is going to be allowed. Why not help out your real models? I've been here for 5 years. You should quit CB. Just take the loss.
Wait, how is her threatening to quit anything to them? If it's keep the person who's making more money for the site, or you, who's just constantly shitting on us, like, yeah, bye.
And go do something else. And I'm not saying this because of Project Melody, I'm saying this because of you. The reactions from both sides goes on and on and on, with models screeching bloody murder about how they can't compete against an anime girl, and fans of her lolling and posting memes. So, thus far, the story is basically hose mad. But I think there's more to it than that. This is something the Chatterbait cam girls are going to have to figure out, though I peg their chances at actually doing so pretty low. After all, the mainstream media has had this exact same problem for at least a decade now.
Why don't they just spend the money and do the same thing?
And as
Fucking
that
chill.
industry crashes and burns, they're reacting in largely the same way. Screeching about being the real deal while their detractors are fake news, like how Project Melody is a fake woman. I want to start this conversation by saying, not all women. Obviously, there are many great women out there who don't think the way that I'm describing. I don't want to give the red pill community too much credence because I do not consistently agree with them on anything. But I think on this topic they might have it right. For a while now, there's been this undercurrent regarding the replacement of women. The feminists will never admit to this being the case. They'll react with anger and hostility and cries of sexism should you ever bring it up. But I think it's at the core of their behavior. Long before the feminist movement, whenever men as a class turned their attention away from women, the women generally revolted. We all know of the 17th century English coffee house, where men would go to drink coffee and discuss politics, and how women protested it. And how women protested these establishments because it, quote, provided in times of domestic crisis when a husband should have been attending to his duties at home. Basically, if there's ever been a way for men to escape the sphere of influence of women, women have protested it. Everything under the sun that has captivated male attention has, at some point, been scapegoated as a social ailment. And even though feminism makes claim to the equality of the sexes, feminists are all too happy to use these same vectors of attack in order to wrangle male behavior. For a while, they said that video games were turning men away from women. They said porn magazines allowed men to get some form of sexual stimulation without being in a relationship, all the while still objectifying women. They complained about sex bots, and now they're complaining about virtual anime girls. And if you look at either Flame Knight and his body tracking to appear as a woman, or, and this might get me in trouble for saying it, traps and trans women, on some level, men are beginning to replace women. It's kind of crazy. You guys remember the Thought Audit? Was it last year or the year before? I can't recall. But the Thought Audit, the whole idea was that there were all these women taking in tips from having private Snapchats or going to OnlyFans or Chatterbait or whatever it was, whether it was overtly sexual or it was just, you know, being a titty streamer with cleavage showing while playing video games on Twitch, and everything in between. These women were taking in tips and not paying taxes. In fact, I think Scrump and I did an old Dumping with Scrump on the topic back when it was happening. But as soon as people started talking about the Thought Audit and getting these women to, you know, pay taxes, you know, follow the law, suddenly everyone who was involved in the Thought Audit, people who thought it was a good idea, they were slandered and vilified by the media as hateful misogynist incels, of course. Rolling Stone's take on it was, sex workers say incel campaign to report them to the IRS won't work. Men's rights advocates are threatening to report...
I don't agree with a lot of our tax policy, but I feel like if you say sex work is work, then pay your taxes. Like, you'd have to come up with a good reason as to why you shouldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can't just be nobody should. Because they're just bitching about them paying taxes. They're not bitching about everybody paying taxes. That'd be a different argument. That's fucking stupid. You don't have to hate women to be mad at somebody who's making a ton of money and not paying any taxes. That's
report sex workers to the IRS. But
normal.
Is it just a new form of harassment? These people really only have one card they can play. And this doesn't seem like it's connected, but it kind of is if you think about it. Just for argument's sake, let's take the Rolling Stone at face value and say that everyone who was interested in the thought audit was only interested in destroying these sex workers because they viewed female sexuality in a negative light or something. Well, on some level, Project Melody actually manages to do that. I mean, people are wasting their time with audits when all they had to do was unleash a 2D girl onto Chaturbate, and there you go, it's happening. It's kind of the same thing with VTubers and regular YouTubers such as myself. Do I feel threatened by channels like Kazuna Eye and the other virtual YouTubers? Not really, because we appeal to a different market. And I'm saying that as somebody who occasionally watches Kazuna Eye. Her videos are very different than mine. Even her gaming videos are very different from my gaming videos. People moving on to a new marketplace, and in some instances abandoning an old marketplace that has kind of run its course, that's not a direct attack on the people running the old marketplace. At least Vice is willing to talk about the situation as it is. A 3D hentai cam girl is taking over Chaturbate, and human models are worried. Project Melody says she's an AI embodiment of an anime cam model, and has amassed thousands of followers in just 3 days of streaming. It sounds like somebody found a market niche and is properly exploiting it. But the focus is on human models being worried. I know that the radical left has talked about replacement anxiety among like white populations in Europe or North America. They say that it's like white fragility if people don't want thousands of non-white immigrants coming in and gradually over time supplanting the local culture. And on some level it probably is, because personally I don't care if non-white people come to Canada as long as they're coming here to adopt Canadian culture. But at the same time, some of that worry of replacement is real, especially if the incoming culture is 1, completely antithetical to ours, and 2, is completely refusing to integrate. But it's just white fragility, or male fragility. Well, what would you call this? What would you call this situation? If women are paranoid that allowing any alternate outlet for male sexuality that isn't them will weaken their hold over men, is that not a form of female fragility? Historically and consistently, women have used access to sex in order to influence the decisions of men. And considering that prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, I think women have always known that they can get at least something out of men in exchange for having sex with them. But notice the consistent negative reaction that feminists have had to any kind of male sexuality that exists separate from women. It's not just Puritans who deride people for masturbating too much. The dude who jacks off too much, or he owns a own-a-hole or something, they're considered specifically creepy by
an own-a-hole?
A guy who watches porn is considered to be objectifying women.
Yeah, I just never heard it referred to as that. That's a funny word for it. I think that all the people that he just described, like, I wouldn't umbrella this as feminists or anything, but like it just seems like I just think they're bad people. They're just mad that they can't manipulate people for profit.
My main critique of this is that he doesn't in how much men contribute to this culture as well, how much men advocate for controlling male sexuality, for how much, because like when conservatives are talking about some of the shit that they're talking, they're often condemning this just the same way that women are.
Yeah, the reasons are different though.
Yeah,
I think that anybody that's trying to I guess there's a slight difference in that on this end, that the motivation is profit, which I think is going to be ultimately worse. Like if you're trying to control the way people feel about something or what things they can interact with for profit, it's going to be worse in my book than if it's just for like an idea that you believe in. If it's an idea that you believe in, I think that holds more weight than like well, if they can do this or if they can think this way, then I lose money. Like, and it sounds like maybe if that's your primary concern, then your job is probably immoral by like your own admission. What they should say is that, well, what they're because what they're really saying is that we deserve to have this kind of control. And I don't think that's right. I don't know. I think the reason why they don't say that is because they know that's fucked.
There are radical feminists out there who believe that gay men have sex with each other only because they find women to be uniquely disgusting, and that male homosexuality is simply a way for men to isolate themselves from women. A lot of feminists have no problem with reinforcing traditional gender norms as long as it involves the strict regulation of male sexuality. Because if there is power to be gained in the interplay between men and women, it's within their best interests to maintain that, even if it also means supporting the patriarchy, even though they claim to oppose it. So of course there would have to be a backlash against somebody like Project Melody. Consider the concept of sex bots. You have a guy with enough money, rather than trying to get dates with women or hiring prostitutes or doing any of those terrible things, he simply purchases a fake woman to have sex with. And because it's a robot and not a human, he can oppress her however he likes. She's not real. In many ways, this would actually lessen the amount of oppression that real women get. You think feminists would be happy about it, but instead, sex robots epitomize patriarchy and offer men a solution to the threat of female independence. Sex robots don't offer men companionship, they offer men complete dominance. There is no way you can read this headline and think that it makes any sort of sense.
Well then, good. They're not dominating any women, so win.
If women want to be fully independent of men, then fine. They can go off and be independent and live on their own, and no man will ever bother her again, and men will have sex bots. How could this possibly be a problem? Well, it's a problem not because of what it's doing to women, but because of what it offers men. See, they say they offer men complete dominance. What do you care? You're not being dominated.
Yes.
The issue has never been what's happening to women. The issue is what men are doing. The purpose is not the emancipation of women, but the control of male behavior in the end. Feminism has insisted over decades that women are human, that we don't exist for men, and that we don't even need men. Sounds fine then, right? Like, this is the solution. You don't need men, and men don't need you. Oh, is that going too far now? It appears men have been working on their own solution to our attempts at independence. It actually seems like they've been helping your independence along. Like, how can you possibly justify the existence of sex bots somehow stifling your independence? Maybe it's just that you intertwine your independence with your power over men, rather than actually simply being separate.
I honestly, it's not like there's no like societal implications. That there's not anything that could be there's some arguments that maybe could be made about some of these things, but the feminist argument's a bad one.
Separate from them. The misogynerds at Abyss Creations say they are inventing the future of sex. What they're actually succeeded in creating is the epitome of male domination. But they're not dominating you. Like, okay, they point out that the real dolls are closer to porn stars than real women. But this is entirely accurate. They're hairless, flawless, have small perky nipples, exaggerated breasts, small labia, can spread their legs in ways no human woman can. They don't bleed, cry, vomit, or feel pain. They're going to sell for between $4,400 and $50,000 a pop. And for $100, you can buy the bottom half of a woman's face, stick your penis into at will. It's not a real woman, you know. They didn't like take some lady and chop the bottom half of her face off for this. Like, this is an invention. Shockingly, just over 9.
Where's the outcry over dildos then? I don't understand. Why is nobody mad about that?
Of real doll customers, even those who buy the few available male dolls, are men. Oh no, dude. This poor piece of plastic is being abused. The only way any of this makes sense is if the feminist goal is not the emancipation of women, but the suppression and control of men.
I don't like the framing that it's all feminist, though. I'm sure there's plenty of reasonable feminists out there that don't give a shit about that. But this points out a really big problem that, like,
with the movement of
what?
With the movement at large, yeah.
Yeah, that like there's definitely parts of the movement that feel this way, and that's a problem. But like also, this is the same movement that glorifies women's sexuality and like their freedom to like have that sexuality independent of like men. So like dildos and like all kinds of sex toys for women. There's like, for every sex toy there is for a man, there's like 30 more for women, and nobody has a problem with that. But when there's ones for men, they get really, like, people get mad in general, and like I think it's really fucked up. There's like no sex positivity for men whatsoever, and if you want to complain about, which I think you should be clear, like sexual assault and men being like creepy towards women, and like everything that gets complicated and weird when it comes to sexual tension between men and women. They should probably just back the fuck off on the fact that men should have some avenues for sexual independence too. This is an insane thing to be mad about.
Because if women are free and separate from men, that also means that men are free and separate from women. But considering just how much focus the radical left has on the shaming of male sexuality, it's pretty clear to me that male freedom isn't their goal. I also have a feeling that if a male birth control pill was ever invented and made widespread,
I'm really glad that I get ahead on the things that he says here.
there would be
I
at
pause
least
at good
some
times.
feminists who riot against it, even though the female birth control pill is considered a sacred relic to them. The pill allows women near total control over their fertility, including not only to not get pregnant, but when to get pregnant and with whom. This article is 10 years old now, but the feminist philosophy behind it is still relevant, and I'm sure a lot of you recognize it. Who's the daddy? Paternity can now be verified by a simple test, but that doesn't mean it should be. This article basically makes the argument that it's a woman's prerogative to cuck men, to sleep around and choose the best possible father of the lot to raise her kids, and that the invention of the paternity test has ruined women and children's lives. The fact that this was published back in 2010 means that Melanie McDonough here was widely rebuked as a sociopath at the time. But if this thing popped up on Vice nowadays, nobody would bat an eye. Reliable
I would flip the fuck out if this got released today.
Male birth control, like the paternity test, would mean more freedom for men, and thus feminists object. In reply to the whole sex bot thing, some femoid once said, "Can a sex doll cook your meals? Can a sex doll have your kids? Can
Him calling this person that hits different now, doesn't it?
Yep.
a sex doll wash your clothes? Can a sex doll make your home?" Well, can you? Here's a meme that was made regarding Project Melody. And frankly, not only is it really funny, it also basically describes what's going on here quite perfectly. Watch me put all these dildos in my ass at once. Then you have like a few people who are pretty depraved watching that shit. And then you have an anime girl, a bunch of chads. They're probably not actually chads, but you know what I mean. Saying, "Hi guys, how was your day?" And it's the "hi guys, how was your day" that's important. Project Melody provides at least a
I don't like that meme.
similarly
They shouldn't shit all over the other
one.
one.
I think it's the same reason as to why people watch hentai
real
or
woman.
porn with a storyline. The storyline doesn't have to be involved, just consistent enough to draw you into the shoes of the people in the video. It's much harder to identify with a porn video where it's just sex beginning, middle, and end. But even a 30-second setup is enough to get people invested. At least invested enough to fap. This is probably why there's such a prevalence of point-of-view porn, or girlfriend-style porn, where the actress treats the viewer not only as somebody she wants to fuck, but somebody she genuinely cares about. It doesn't need to be in-depth or well-acted or whatever. It can even be completely stupid, like the whole lemon-stealing whores thing. Yeah, that went viral on YouTube even, at least the non-sexual part of the video. Yes, because it was hilariously dumb, but also because even if you didn't know it was from a porn, you could easily recognize it just by watching it. Any video you watch is a portal to a specific time and place, and a porn video is really only good if its portal can mentally draw you through it. Ultimately, what I'm describing is an artificial human connection. Still human connection in that the viewer feels included in the moment. Still artificial in that the viewer feels even more lonely after the video's over. But in the end, it's still far more attractive than a random woman on Chatterbait who will show you the inside of her asshole if you tip her $5. The person behind Project Melody understands this, and her content is regularly non-sexual.
Okay. Most of this video, pretty fucking based. Him shitting all over actual women who do ritual sex work, not so much based. I don't know. He could do all this without doing that. I think that's shitty. I don't condone any of that shit.
Even
to be fair, he seems to be shitting specifically on the people who are saying that like men have into this coercive really.
Well, he has done that, but like the meme he said captures it perfectly. It's just shitting on some random sex worker chick, and then like he says like, "So I'm gonna show you your butthole for like $10 or whatever." Like there's nothing wrong with either of those people. I feel like he's getting his message blended from like there's nothing wrong with what Project Melody did to like it's like also becoming like and real sex workers are all fucking stupid. It feels like it's slowly leading into that. And if I feel like that, I'm sure that like actual sex workers are probably gonna feel like that. But the ones that he specifically singled out, yeah, they seem pretty fucking stupid, and like mad when they shouldn't be.
Protagonist that's getting gangbanged in a locker room in a high school by horse demons. It's like, who is she? How did she get there? Who am I supposed to root for? Am I attracted to horses now? This is porn. There's no emotional investment. Art requires emotional investment. Lack thereof makes it porn. Can a good storyline transform a hentai into art? It absolutely can. I mean, I've fallen in love with eroge with a horrible storyline, but it was the complex, emotional connections between the cat girls in my harem that really stuck with me and made it something good. There's an example I'd like to bring up. It's cursed, and it's famous. It's known as metamorphosis.
Oh yeah.
If you're like me, you're a seasoned vet. You can handle that What's the worst that could happen? It could be gross, it could be a little violent, it could be weird, but it's fine. And if you were like me, you got off a third of the way through. But there was something about it that made you sit around in your own puddle of shame because you wanted to know what's going to happen to this protagonist. This is an example of a hentai with a good storyline. It took my emotional investment, and that made it art. I mean, it also gave me horrible nightmares, but it technically could be art.
She's talking with her
I
arms
wish I
too
could pretend
much.
I didn't know what she was talking about. Point is, when regular chatterbait girls offer titillation, and Project Melody offers both titillation and the pretense of companionship, why is anyone shocked that she's more popular? I think what's actually happening here is that feminism is ultimately a flimsy coating, wallpapered over top the interplay between men and women. And while men routinely compete for the attention of women, women also compete for the attention of men. And by the way, this isn't a universally negative thing. In a functional relationship, where sex and love are properly connected, this dynamic becomes a game that everyone enjoys playing. Yeah, fundamentally, women still offer sex for work and men offer work for sex. And I'm sure a bitter incel will look at that and think, ha, see, she doesn't really love you. But do you think you should be getting sex for nothing? Maybe it's more like people who are in love, in healthy relationships, will consent to arrangements where they dangle carrots in front of each other in an effort to make the both of them better people. I know on some level Naomi's got my balls in a vice, metaphorically now, and that I need to be a better person than I have been in the past. But you know what? The same goes for her. And we're both better together than apart because of it. My point is, every time men have found an alternate sexual release, women have fought against it, even if that release involves other women. And I don't mean other women like you have a wife but you're cheating on her. I mean like men preferring a different type of woman, or wanting something that the woman in question doesn't offer. I have personally heard women use this argument against, yes, men watching porn, men masturbating, men buying sex dolls or sex toys, and even men being gay. But I've also heard it, again personally, used against women of different races. Like if a white guy's with an Asian girl, white women seem to regularly imply that he's only with her because she's submissive, and he couldn't handle an empowered woman who's actually from the West. I've heard it used against trans women, that the guy is a weird creeper with a sick fetish, or that he's closeted gay or something. In the end, it's all just female fragility. It's her saying, why them, why not me? And there's only one good reply to that. Yes, men have to offer something, but women have to offer something too. And no, offering sex isn't enough. Not just because of the overwhelming access to sex nowadays, simulated and real alike. But
Well,
offering
that has
sex
a lot
has
to do
never
with
been enough. You have to offer companionship. And if that's just not in your personality, then the problem's you, not men. And if it is actually the case that the feminist rhetoric is correct and you just want freedom from men, then take it. But that means men are free from you. No relationships, no sex. Certainly no chatterbait tips or Twitch bits. If that's what you want, then go. And don't look back. However, back in the realm of actual, real, non-crazy people, one thing that human interaction will always have over porn is genuine companionship. The ability to have a real relationship with another human being will always be more appealing than anything you'll find on Chatterbait, including Project Melody. Any porn actresses who know that they're capable of offering real companionship one day, even if they're doing porn right now, will not feel threatened by Project Melody because they know their worth. Only those women who...
I mean, it's kind of weird for him to bring up all that stuff and not say that like women in real life actually have sex with people. It's not just like not just like you interacting with the media content. It's a little weird that he didn't bring that up.
Who have nothing to offer but their bodies are feeling threatened right now. I guess all I can say to men is, don't give up hope. Better yourself. Keep looking. You will eventually find a woman who is not part of this bullshit and actually wants to have a relationship. And what I can say to women is, don't be like these people. Don't give up hope, my friends, no matter what gender you are. Work on yourself. Become someone interesting. Get in shape. Make some money. Follow a passion. People will be drawn to you. Nobody's destined to live the forever alone life. I don't want to hear anybody in the comments saying that they can't make it, because it's not true. I'm getting out of here, guys. I've been recording this during the weekly sip, and I am in fact now 6 minutes late for it. So I'm gonna go. Have a good day, my friends. I love you.
So,
Are you seriously watching porn by yourself?
No, I'm with the science team.
That was really good.
okay.
Good, lay it on me.
No, I'm just in self-healing you.
Oh, I think that I agree with like 85% of what he said. Okay, I do think he was a little too harsh on like the way maybe he didn't mean it that way, but he was getting pretty broad with how he talked about
I
like
can
general
kind of
sex workers.
understand. I can kind of understand when willing to talk about and control female sexuality, and that's sexual narrative. Some iffy
What's iffy? You cut out a
when no
little.
one's willing to talk about their issue.
Oh, sure. Well, not
Like,
only that too, that nobody's being
yeah.
honest about it.
Mhm. Like
That's a
there
really
there
big
are
problem.
ways.
Oh, God.
Like people talk about how men control women's sexuality, but then to talk about how women can control men's sexuality, or how like the class will constantly rail against things that would be liberating to similarly things that could be themselves, but then give them less.
Yeah, I think that men control women's sexuality insofar as they get to control what they find appealing. And if you're trying to make your sex appeal directed at men, yeah, you are literally handing them over a certain amount of control. That's just how that works. But when
It is.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But it seems like that's what we're talking about when we talk about men controlling women's sexuality. For the most part, of course, there's like some like if we get into like religious things and like society enforcing like monogamy and things like that, like that's a little bit different. But generally speaking, that's what we're talking about. But when we talk about women controlling men's sexuality, it seems like it's always centered around men removing women from the equation about how men are going to engage with like their sexual desires. So in one direction, what's that?
Sometimes it have you ever heard the cringe talking point of like state girlfriends?
Oh yeah. State issued girlfriends, yeah.
Do you kind of sort of similarity? You see a sort of similarity going on and the whole this in a way? Because they feel entitled to male sexuality.
Oh yeah, that 100%. When we talk about women controlling men's sexuality, it is that they are basically stating this entitlement that they have to it. But when we talk about men controlling women's sexuality, it's just them determining whether or not they are attracted or like the alternatives that they have available to them. And for some reason, this seems to be like one of these things is seen as bad and the other one's seen as like totally fine. I think that's fucked up. That's why I talked to Smith about male sexuality the one day, because I think in order to fix this, one of the things that him and I talked on, the reason why I talked to him is that men aren't honest about their sexuality with even other men, so they're sure as fuck not going to be honest with women about it. So they don't talk about it a whole lot. So I think that if they talked about it more openly and honestly, it could move in the right direction. But it hasn't happened for so long that I think that anything that's honest that isn't going to like that the women on the other side of the argument don't agree with, they're just gonna say they're full of shit, or they're just they're coping, or they're saying it for like they're basically that they're just lying. We've gotten to a really weird spot because the discussion about male sexuality has been so far suppressed, and it's always just been like boiled down to like a bunch of like just like men are pigs and things like that. Like it's just like you can't actually have a conversation about like what it's actually like for a man to engage with sexuality, which is sad.
I feel like feel like you can only hear so many stories like this, or at least much of that coming from women, before you were like poor little Timmy Questionfeld.
Poor little Timmy caution pilled.
The little Timmy Questionfeld.
I don't know what the little Timmy question is.
I don't know if I want to say that on stream.
Give me
Actually,
like the.
mute me. Can you mute me?
Yeah, go ahead. They can hear me, not you. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's exactly what's happened with men and their sexuality. It seems like and it's not everybody, but you're unmuted by the way now. It seems like
Okay.
Everybody's really comfortable with the narrative of only caring about women's sexual freedom and like their desires, and like men's don't matter at all. And it's gotten to the point to where like when Me Too happened, that like a lot of there's like been a lot of jokes like, or like people like being snarky and saying like I literally just don't talk to women because I don't know what's acceptable anymore. But there really are some people out there that are just like already socially inept enough in just the way that we always talk about and treat men when it comes to like the sexual conversation, where they really don't know if it's like if they're gonna get in trouble for just talking because they're so weird. Like I had a friend of mine who was like totally freaked out, and as far as I know, he's never done anything wrong. When he comes to me with that kind of talking point, like I just try to explain it to him the best that I can. But like men have been out of the conversation about their sexuality for so long that any sudden shifts or changes really fucks up like a good portion of men that already have no ability to express themselves sexually at all. They don't know how to do it. So it just, the further and further we go down the path of like demonizing male sexuality and not having any open, honest conversations about it, I think we're just going to see more and more of the worst problems that we have involving it. Because like I don't like, there's really no solution. Like the conversation has always been like super one-sided, and I think it's fucked up. It's even like socially acceptable to make fun of guys for having a small dick, which like the guy had a small dick and like he got like hardcore ridiculed for him. That's how you make a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like you can't make fun of a girl for being fat. Not saying you should. But you can make fun of a guy for having a small dick. Like, I would say it's definitely easier, I don't care what kind of health condition you have, for a woman to lose weight than it is for a guy to grow a bigger dick. Like, one of these things is just possible and the other one isn't. And I think that it's actually fucking crazy how we expect problems involving sexuality between like just like sexual interactions between men and women to change or get better when it's only one side having the conversation. And if you try to include men in the conversation, like you hate women, or you just want to do like whatever nasty thing to women, it freaks me out really bad. Because I seem to do pretty okay being open and honest about my feelings, but I know that even when I have brought up the conversations, other people get uncomfortable. Like people don't want to hear it. But if you're a woman, not only can you be heard, but like you should be heard. I think we have this like super duper backwards, and it hurts women just as much as it hurts men by keeping men out of the conversation. Like all the people that were complaining about the hentai girl. Well, they could have been on that a lot sooner, but they don't actually know what men wants. They tell men what they want, and then they push this as what they should want. Fucking crazy. And too many women have their like identities and their self-worth tied up into it, but they're only going off of like what they think it should be. It's very, very weird. I think that's it's a big problem, and one that I have prior to this video cared about. Maybe I think maybe this conversation and videos inspired me to get more than just Smeth involved in the conversation and have another conversation about it, because I think somebody should be talking about it, and it just seems like nobody is.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's something that's always like in the background of my mind, and then I guess like when I talk to Smith about it, on the foreground of it. Thanks. That was really, really good. I still think everybody should be nice to sex workers. Well, you shouldn't be mean to them because they are, or group them in with the worst ones of them.
All right, I've got to go.
I do too.
Home base.
Beats, it was nice to actually hear your voice. I'm gonna.
Yeah, nice to talk to you.
Yeah, same. And like I said, next week on Friday, first video that I'm watching is gonna be one of your videos that I have decided to pick. I'm gonna pick one, not at random, but one that it looks good to me, and I'm gonna put that on because you've contributed more to the Friday stream than anybody, maybe close to everybody combined. And I want to see what you got going on.
All right. Well, I'll gather some more videos too for next week then.
Sounds good. Oh, and Fauna, you can put stuff in there ahead of time too, and I'll make sure that it goes in order. The only time I skip around is like Beats just like dumps all at once, so I try to weave his in between other people's, so that way people don't feel left out.
Anderson.
All right. Thanks. I will talk to you guys. Oh, I'm not 100% sure about the times on Sunday. My girlfriend will be here. She's supposed to come over on Sunday, but I don't know what time. But I'll get with you ASAP. She should be here like literally any time now. Okay?
Gotcha.
And then, yep, that's it. Take care, you guys. Have a good night.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night.
Peace out. All right. Well, that's the end of it. If you just got here, you missed probably a good one. I think you can rewatch it on here, and it's up on YouTube with a brief pause of like me getting DMCA claimed, I guess. And it went down. But it should be up on Twitch, I think. Sometimes Twitch gets a little mad at me for these. I'm going to get out of here. I think tomorrow I'm going to do the Demon Mama's Defense of President Sunday, and I'll probably get mad. And I very rarely get mad. Oh, and also Wednesday, Brianna Wu and I are going to have a debate, conversation, however you want to frame it, about consent, since it didn't go super well with Mr. Girl. I'm going to take up that that mantle, and I have got Irrelevant to be the moderator. He was my first pick to be the moderator because of anybody that I've seen in the Twitch poll space. He seems to go into things with the least amount of bias of anybody that I know. So Irrelevant will be moderating me and Brianna Wu talking about consent. Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So that should be pretty good. I think it'll be pretty good. But that's it for me for now. I'm going to spend time with my wife and girlfriend.